Howdy.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Horsetooth Cinema Live. And today I have my good buddies here joining me. First of all, we have Josh. Josh, this way over through the lens. How's it going, Josh?
Wagwan. Hey everyone. Great to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Jackson. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Good to
Um,
have you back. It was I've been on a trip for like a week, and it's nice to just kind of do a real casual 3 hour stream or whatever with some friends. So.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then also we have Leon from Leon Talks Film. How's it going, man?
Hi. Yeah, not too bad. How's everything going with you?
Good. Yeah, no, it's good. I had a good time on my trip, kind of relaxing,
Nice.
a little camping trip, but it's nice to be back for sure.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on, by the way. Thank you. I always enjoy coming on these streams. So much fun just chatting films and shit with you.
Yeah, exactly. Just shooting the shit for a while, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and kick it off by just doing a casual. Actually, first of all, I'm going to answer one of Jake's comments because
Hey,
he said
Jake.
what you guys been watching
Hey.
recently, and that's hey Jake, and that's exactly what we're going to get into right here.
I think you
what
should
if-
start because
Yeah.
you've seen the least. Because
I
you've
should.
been on the
Okay,
trip.
I can do that. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, while I was on my trip, I didn't see that much. I'm gonna start with the last movie that I watched before we got to camp, and that is a film that we discussed on the last stream called Taxi Hunter.
Yes!
By Herman Yao.
The legend.
Which is so. It is, if you're familiar with his other films, Ebola Syndrome and The Untold Story. I haven't seen those yet, but from what I understand, Taxi Hunter is not as hyper violent as those. But it is a really fun, sort of violent, kind of character study thriller. It's got a really funny premise, as Leon kind of explained. The tone, how he handles some of those details, I'm not sure how I feel about, but it's still I did have a fun time watching that one.
Nice.
And then the only movie I watched while I was at camp was Zodiac. I just had that downloaded. It's one of my favorites. Had a great time revisiting that. I think I've probably seen that 8 times at this point.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. And I also watched another film that you guys had been recommending, sort of, and that is a film called KFC, which I think you both watched. And it's for those who don't know.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Yes,
Yep.
it's a very short film. It's only an hour long, but it's this Vietnamese first-time director doing. I would say it's kind of like his very torture porn kind of version of something like Last House on the Left, where it's a commentary on cyclical violence. I love how all the violence in the movie centers around a KFC.
Bucket, yeah.
Yeah, but I just thought tonally I just didn't think it really worked for what it was going for. It definitely feels like kind of a edgy shitpost in some ways, more than it feels like a cohesive film. But it was interesting for sure.
Yeah, I read that it was kind of like a student film, like that was his thesis film that he created, and I'm like, imagine showing that in your film class.
Just showing the torture scene. You have people making their little neo-realist dramas or whatever, and then you have that guy. That's awesome though. And then I rewatched a classic, a movie I love, Clueless, and
Yeah.
it's so funny. I really want Leon to revisit this at some point.
I will. I was going
Okay.
to the other day, but then things didn't pan out exactly as I was expecting. But I will check it out soon because I wasn't a fan on my first viewing, but hopefully it works for me on a second viewing.
Yeah. The first, I kind of mentioned this in the chat, but for me, the first time I saw it, I didn't really pick up on I knew it was an adaptation of I forget which Shakespeare play, but but I didn't really pick up on some of the satirical elements of kind of how it's really making fun of youth and kind of that kind of movie in a way.
Yeah.
And I just and just the way that Alicia Silverstone kind of does that, on subsequent watches, I've just grown to really, really love the movie. And I also watched Hypnotic, which is a new thriller directed by Robert Rodriguez. Have either of you guys seen this?
I've heard of it, and I saw your review, and I've heard other people make comparisons to a Cure as well. It sounds like small brain Cure.
Yes, it takes kind of the basic premise of Cure in the way like there's hypnotism involved, and it's about a detective search. There's very similar elements, but yeah, it is some it is some smooth brain cinema. Like it is really, really but I kind of enjoyed it in that way. I also rewatched Barbie and Oppenheimer with Renee to go see both of those at the cinema. Had a great time with them again.
Nice.
And then also yesterday I continued my Bond marathon and watched Diamonds Are Forever, which is really the only Bond film that I like strongly dislike that I've seen so far. It is dog shit. But like, and it makes me mad too because they were coming after. So like the previous film was On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which I think is a great movie, and it's it was the one with George Lazenby. You know, they're going for a little bit of a different tone than the Connery ones. It's a little bit more serious, but it's still really fun in like a different way. But a lot of people just didn't really care for it when it came out, and so the studio tried to way overcorrect for it and go back to like the Goldfinger days. But they just ended up making like an Austin Powers movie basically, but like a really stupid and racist one.
So, I remember what you were saying in the chat, and it sounds like stuff in that film.
Yeah, I hated it, but that's it for me. Which one of you guys want to go first?
Josh, go on.
Cool.
All right, so we're talking like last week or
last week or so, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go from the 24th.
Okay.
So yeah, last week. Oppenheimer round 2.
Very nice.
Loved it. My crowd was very respectful, which is good. Then I watched Talk to Me
Nice.
on the same day as Oppenheimer, so a very depressing day. But Talk to Me was so fucking good. I can't wait to see the director's Street Fighter now. They're making the Street Fighter film. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, but I'm probably gonna go see Talk to Me in the next like couple days while I have some friends from out of town coming in tomorrow, so that should be good.
Nice.
All I'm gonna say is last 10 minutes. Oh, so good. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, they literally cut out a bunch of scenes for some reason on Amazon Prime. But there were scenes I didn't like anyway, so it's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. I need to get myself a Mila Kunis at some point though. Then Mad Max. I got 40 minutes in and fell asleep and was so bored.
Wait. The first one. Okay. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
I don't like the first Mad Max very much. I've tried
Let's go.
3 times. I own it 3 times, technically 4 times. I have an old Blu-ray. I have the Shout Factory release, which I was gifted by John over at Mondo Chelovec. I have the Kino Lorber 4K, and then I have the actual 4K box set. I don't know why I own that film 4 times, because I'm not even a huge fan of it, but I appreciate it more than I actually enjoy it. I think it's important for like the I don't want to get it mixed up. It's New Zealand. Is it New Zealand or Australia?
It's Australia.
New Zealand.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're both the same, aren't they?
We're getting.
Well,
No,
George Miller's from Australia. I know that.
Okay, so Australian. It's really important for the Australian film market and everything, and also just for like cult cinema. But it's just kind of a snooze fest after that opening 20 minutes. But I've never seen any of the sequels, which I really need to get on.
I do like it. I totally agree. It is a little like, especially comparing it to the sequels. It's by comparison, it's not as fun. I do like the kind of stripped down revenge nature of it a little bit. To me, it's like Death Wish, but if it weren't like really reactionary, But like Death Wish, like it's the sequels kind of make it better because they go more for the style and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I really want to see The Road Warrior. I've heard it's great.
Oh, The Road Warrior is amazing. Yeah, you gotta watch that. Yep.
Yeah, I've heard great stuff.
Yeah.
This is weird. I watched a film on BBC iPlayer. Don't ask me why I watched this shit. It's called This Beautiful Fantastic. It just follows a woman who. She seems to be like the only person in this fucking town. There's like 8 other people in this entire town. Andrew Scott's one of them. Tom Wilkinson's one of them. And effectively, She plays someone called Bella Brown, who's an aspiring kids novelist who tries to get evicted from her house because she didn't look after her garden, and she basically just has to fucking garden.
This doesn't sound funny, but you're having a Taxi Hunter moment right now.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know why I watched this. That's the funny thing about it. She basically just a landlord comes over and kicks her out because she's not looking after the garden, and it's like we spend an hour and 25 minutes of her just gardening. It's so weird.
Real Jean Dielman movie.
Yeah, I don't know why I watched it. But whatever. 99 Homes with Michael Shannon and Andrew Garfield. Very good.
Michael Shannon, so that sounds fun.
It's like Good Time for Real Estate. It's really good.
What?
No, but it'll make sense when you
Good Time for
Real Estate.
I don't know what.
Yeah. It's like Good Time but for real estate agents.
Saying it again doesn't make
it better.
It's really fucking tense, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I know. I believe you. I trust you. Okay.
Red Rocket.
Oh, also.
Oh, I love Red Rocket. You watched that for the first time recently, Leon, right?
I did, yeah. I'll
So
talk about my thoughts when I get to it, but it's so fucking good. So good.
Oh, it is. It's really good. And Susanna Son, I don't know why people keep casting her as a 17-year-old, especially Sam Levinson. Like, I know we tend to talk about him, but like
Sam Levinson,
our boy. Come on the podcast, Sam Levinson.
Please, we won't be nice.
But yeah, Red Rocket's great, and to think that was made for what 800K, something like that.
Yeah.
Saw, we watched, didn't we?
Yes.
Addy?
Allie? You weren't huge on Saw, were you?
Not the first one, no.
But you like the second one. That was interesting.
I'll get to it. Short film on Mubi called Arabada, which is kind of about trans identity in a Colombian kind of community, but it's so fucking bad because it's like I love the message that it's trying to say. But it's like the first line of dialogue is practically just expository, like, oh, when I'm a man in this Colombian thing. It's like it's written by a preschooler. It's so awful, but it's nice to look at. Tries too hard to be like Terrence Malick though at points.
It's like most art filmmakers now. Like
yeah, but this is like you can tell this is trying to be Terrence Malick.
Right.
Okay.
Watched 36, which is a film. Where was it from? Thailand. By a guy who I can't pronounce his name. It's like where is a K Fool's name, but more hard to say. And it was beautiful. It reminded me of After Sun quite a lot.
Nice.
It's like it's trying to make you sort of not want to use your phone in a way. It's trying to make you live in the moment, and it's really nice. It's really beautiful. Then 8th grade,
Nice.
Oh Burnham. Really awkward, but that's what's kind of good about it. Leon the Professional, very uncomfortable. But
Different Leon than this Leon.
Different. I'm named after that film. That's not even a joke. My mum named me after that film, which is yeah. I mean, the thing is,
which is weird to think about if you think of it. If she named you after that.
Very weird. I used to love that film obsessively as a kid. Like I've seen that film probably about 50 times in my life. Oh yeah. But in recent years, I still enjoy it, but there's definitely kind of an irky factor, especially knowing Luc Besson directed it.
Yeah.
I don't know why Luc Besson is. He's not Italian, so I don't know.
Luc Besson. Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
Luc Poisson.
Luc Poisson.
But I watched Haunted Mansion, the new one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. That seemed good.
I've heard. I saw a clip of Haunted Mansion on Twitter, and it's like this really emotional scene with Lakeith Stanfield, and he starts like doing Baskin Robin product placement or some shit.
Oh.
and it
Yep.
sounds so funny. It's like we were talking before about what was it, Venom Let There Be Carnage, and how that has product placement in
It's
before
a
the
Sony
film
TV.
started. Yeah, I've heard Haunted Mansion has so much product placement in.
Oh my god, this is fucking overkill. It's like Transformers 4 practically with the Bud Light. That's how bad this is. And it's just not funny. Who is this film made for? Like, who is its audience? I don't know who would
Horror
want to
fans
see
won't
a
be
horror.
into that. Like real horror fans are like, no.
It made
I think
$22
it's-
million on opening, 33 worldwide. That's trash for a film which cost nearly $200 million.
Nearly 200. What? That's ridiculous.
And it looks like shit.
That's so much money.
Oppenheimer cost 100 million.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's Disney. Schmucks. And then today, I watched Saw 2.
Yes.
In the early hours of the morning. It's so funny. I love it.
I love Saw 2.
I love it, but I hate it, which is why I gave it a 3 out of 5. But
Oh, it's so fun, Jackson. You need to binge the Saw films. I will literally once I'm done with him, I will binge them with you as well.
once you're done with me, you'll do it
Yeah,
again.
yeah. I'll go from one person to this is what I do. I've binged the Saw films. You're the third person I've done it with, Josh, and then it's gonna be
Nice.
fourth when me and
There
Jackson go
you
through
go.
more.
No, I'm looking forward to it because I haven't seen any of the Saw films. It is a big horror, like franchise horror blind spot for me, for sure.
I think you would love them. Not in a genuine way, like in a very kind of like ironic, so bad it's good kind of charming way. But they're so fun.
Even the first one, I'm sure the first one, people like I see a lot of people defending the first one as like a very serious like film, like kind of like Seven, but it just seems like a very, very like pulpy ripoff kind of.
Yes, it is, and that's what I find kind of charming. And also, the boy James Wan directed it, so that's cool as well.
There you
go. What else, Josh? Sorry.
And then after finishing that masterpiece, I watched. I watched All the Crows in the World, which is a short film and movie directed by Tang Yi, and it was quite good. Visually, it's got the visual style of like a Denis Villeneuve film, but it's got the idiosyncrasy. Is that the word? Idiosyncrasy?
Yeah, like little kind of like specificities and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got kind of a style of like Wes Anderson in a way, which it took a while to get used to, considering it's only like 15 minutes. It took me a good 5 minutes to realize what he was doing, but I was like, yeah, this is good. I like it.
I like that both times I've watched a Saw film with you, you've went to watch a short film on Mubi afterwards.
Oh shit, yeah. Just realised that.
It's tradition. You've got to.
I've got to do it with the next one.
There you go.
And then I watched The Map of Tiny Perfect Things on Amazon Prime, which is like a romantic comedy, which is like Groundhog Day, but for TikTok nerds, I guess. I don't know. It was fine.
You gotta make it for the audience. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It was fine. So yeah, watched quite a lot this week.
That's a lot.
Nice.
Been a busy boy.
Yes. Well, what about you, Leon?
Okay, let's go. I'll try and go through this fast. So we'll go from the 23rd, just because why not? So first,
Why not?
Cure. Amazing.
Yes.
This
so
is
good.
like top tier. This is probably one of the best watches I've seen all year. Also, I need to see this from same director. Have you seen Creepy?
I haven't seen it. I really want to as well.
I want to check it out. But yeah,
I also
Cure.
really want to see. There's a film called Serpent's Path that I don't think is very widely available, but that's the one that Sleazoids podcast paired with Cure in their episode about Kurosawa. So I definitely need to check out more of his horror stuff, and even some of his drama stuff. Like I've heard that Tokyo Sonata is like an incredible film.
Yeah. I'd love to check more of his stuff out. I wasn't huge on Pulse. I like elements of Pulse, but
Yes.
I also wasn't like super compelled by it outside of like some really, really great horror segments. But Cure is just so engaging from start to finish. Like it's a practically flawless film. I don't really have many issues with it.
I think so. I totally agree with that assessment. I need to rewatch Pulse, but yeah, I have similar thoughts as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to revisit Pulse now that I've seen Cure though, because I'd be interested to like see what I think of that, like going back to it as
Yeah.
well. Like I don't know,
I feel
maybe
like Cure kind of lulls you into his weird like pacing and like the way he kind
yeah,
of shoots horror like and directs it a little bit better. Whereas Pulse just kind of like throws you into the middle of it and is like
yeah,
expecting that you're used to it. So I could see how that could be maybe not the best film of his to watch like as your first one.
yeah. No, I completely
Yeah.
agree. I watched KFC, which we spoke
Yes.
about briefly before.
Yeah. It's
yeah,
such a
yeah.
repulsive movie.
It's so disgusting.
Like
It's
I
very-
was at so many points wanting to turn it off, but I was like, I've got to firm it. You know?
I'm gonna expose you, Josh, for what you did. He actually had the video open in like a browse out like open window, and he like zoomed it down a bit, so it was just playing in the corner of the screen because he didn't want to see some of what was going on. I'm sorry, Josh. I have to expose you for that.
I was watching in the car with my fiance's family, and a couple of them were behind me. So I was watching on my phone.
You're watching it with them.
No, not with them.
Imagine you were watching it with
the
them.
whole family.
No, that would be amazing though. But I had earbuds in.
KFC
obviously,
documentary.
and I just like was kind of like leaning towards the corners so that they couldn't see it.
It was so repulsive.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I find elements of it really impressive for a student film that was clearly made for like no money whatsoever, but like as a whole it doesn't really work. I think I'd like to see what the director does with an actual budget, because he seems interesting. Weirdly enough, you compared it to like Last House on the Left, and I'm not a huge Last House on the Left person,
I'm not
so
either,
I still appreciate its existence though, just for what it led to, like with Craven's later work and stuff. So maybe we could have like a similar effect with KFC.
That's exactly my thoughts as well. Yeah,
it's definitely something. I watched
something.
I watched Werner Herzog's Grizzly Man, which is a great documentary. Really, really fascinating character study based on this guy who really, really, really loved animals and spent about 13, 14 years of his life documenting himself with like animals like grizzly bears and stuff. And I won't say too much, although it is based on like it is a true story. I don't want to spoil the film necessarily, but very, very interesting. Probably Herzog's most, I don't know, human and like emotional film I've ever seen. Yeah, it's got some great moments, and there's a moment where Herzog's on camera and it's like heartbreaking. It's like really, really sad. But yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed Grizzly Man. And then this one pains me to say that I didn't like it because the director's so good, but I saw Raising Cain by Brian De Palma, and I wasn't huge on it, which bummed me out.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I've heard a couple people talk about it in the context of his career as being like kind of fitting into that shitpost cinema category a little bit, where like
a little.
He's basically like what I heard was that he was bored with making thrillers like that, and so he just wanted to make one that was like really fun for him, but like really unsatisfying for the audience. And so some of that might be intentional.
Kind of like Beau's Afraid with Ari Aster, kind of. A little bit. That's not good for the audience, is it? But,
no, Raising Cain's fascinating because it was a film that there's two edits of the film. So there's the theatrical cut that came out in, when did the film come out? Like 92, I want to say, 1992 it came out. And that theatrical cut, from what I've heard, is not what De Palma, well, I don't want to say it's not what De Palma really intended, but it deviated heavily from the screenplay, because the screenplay initially, I want to like tiptoe around this without giving away too many spoilers, but you know, you've seen Dressed to Kill, right?
Yeah.
You know
honestly, probably my least favorite De Palma that I've seen, but it's still good.
I love Dressed to Kill, even though it's very kind of problematic in a lot of ways.
It's not even that. It's more the last scene It's such a masturbatory like psycho thing that
Yes.
why did you do this, Brian? Like
Yeah.
you don't need to do this. The movie's
The
over.
reason I bring up Dress to Kill is because the original screenplay for Raising Cain kind of does a psycho thing again, where I don't want to spoil the film, but let's just say it's borrowing like similarities from Psycho. Let's just say that in the original like screenplay, but in the theatrical version that was released, it's kind of just you're introduced to this character, something big happens, and it kind of has no impact or weight to it whatsoever, and then you just continue on. But in his original screenplay, it kind of lets you develop time with these characters. You have about 25 minutes before a big thing happens.
Right.
And then it shifts focus. I didn't watch the theatrical cut because I've heard it's really bad, but there's actually a fan edit that came out, which is basically labeled as a director's cut. This fan found the original screenplay, edited it as if it was what De Palma originally intended, because De Palma kind of like butchered his own film so it would appeal to more audiences, which I think is very, very bizarre.
So it's the same story. Like there's no different scenes. It's just the
no. It's
just in a different
near
order.
it's near identical runtime, but there's actually kind of a more satisfying payoff in the first act. Whereas from what I've heard about the theatrical cut, it kind of just like flip flops between this happens and there's no like real weight or emotion to it because it just happens out of nowhere. But there's actual build up in the director's cut, and De Palma actually approves of that fan edit, which is why it's called the director's cut, and it's included on this release and the Shout Factory release in the States. So if you ever do want to watch Raising Cain, I'd suggest tracking down that director's cut or fan edit, because that's the one that De Palma has approved himself, and he said, "This is what I wish I released in theaters." Like that's what he said. So and because of that, I like the director's cut's like first act. Like I think the first 25-30 minutes are actually really fun, and John Lithgow's kind of having a great time, but it's just kind of a bit of a slog after a while, and I didn't really find it too thrilling, too entertaining. It just kind of felt like typical De Palma at that point, you know, like kind of been here, done that. But it's not terrible or anything. I watched a Shaw Brothers film called The Oily Maniac, which I reviewed on my YouTube account. The Oily Maniac is incredible. It is so funny. It's got Danny Lee, who's in The Untold Story, and he plays a man whose uncle gets sent to prison, and he gets really mad that his uncle's been sent to prison. So his uncle tells him that a tattoo that he has actually contains a spell, and when he conjures up this magic spell, he turns into an oily man.
Sounds amazing.
That's it. And every time he turns into the oily man, he has to become a superhero and stop women from being sexually assaulted. That's it. That's literally it. It happens like 4 times in the film. Some woman's about to get assaulted, and then he turns into the oily maniac and goes in there and beats the shit out of these people. And every time he's like entering the room, because he's like a puddle of oil, like a rip-off Jaws theme plays, and he'll like slide under the door as a puddle, and then he'll just appear as a man, beat people up. He knows martial arts, this oily maniac does, and there's a point where I'm pretty sure he murders somebody by throwing a bicycle on their head. It's insane. It's very, very funny.
That sounds good. I think I'll have to check that out for sure.
I'd highly recommend it. It's a Shaw Brothers film, and you said you watched The Boxer's Omen.
I've seen The Boxer's Omen, which is
I really want
to
see
incredible movie. Yeah,
I've heard great things. I want to check that out soon for my Shaw Brothers series, because I've heard that's like top tier Shaw Brothers like insanity.
From what I've heard from people who know their films, people speak really highly of that one. It's the only one I've seen, so I'm pretty sure. So
okay. Also, I'm gonna speed this up because I've got a lot of films I'm taking.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. It was actually okay. I didn't hate it. Me and Brady watched it. Brady was watching it. It got added to Paramount Plus. I joined in on watching it on.
It's on there already.
It is somehow.
Holy shit!
It was fine. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't like offensive like the Bay films. It wasn't like really obnoxious and in your face. It was just absolutely fine. If I was like 7 years old and I liked big robots and stuff and dinosaurs, I'd be like, this is the coolest film ever. But I'm not 7, so it wasn't the coolest film ever. But still, it was fine. Like I didn't mind it too much. It's very aware of how stupid it is and kind of just rolls with that. And it's not too long. Like, I swear it's only like, oh, it's 2 hours long, Jesus, but it doesn't feel 2 hours long.
Well, that's really short for a Transformers.
I seem to be the only one who actually. I seem to be the only one who despises that film. I
get
lots of people despise that movie.
Yeah. I went into it expecting like a 2 out of 10, and I gave it a solid 5 out of 10.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's fine.
Even my dad hated it.
He did it before he even watched it.
Yeah, before he watched it, he wrote a review saying he hated it, and I said to him, "Dad, you haven't even fucking watched it. Why'd you say that?" And then he watched it and was like, "Oh yeah, I hate it." So.
I watched a documentary on category free cinema because I've kind of been in a cat-free binge recently, Untold Story, Ebola Syndrome, and they have interviews with Anthony Wong, which is amazing. Yes. And he just shit talks all the films and says they're terrible, and he did them for paychecks. And he's like, I kind of hate these films. I don't know why people like them.
That is good.
Because we're sickos. That's why we like them.
Oh, he's great. That documentary is included on the US Blu-ray of The Untold Story, if you pick that up. I don't have that, but I found it online via documentary because I really wanted to watch it, and it doesn't have a release in the UK. But that was a good doc. Red Rocket, amazing. I loved Red Rocket. I think it might be Sean Baker's best film. Like, I think it is. Yeah. Like, I've seen the Florida Project more, and I'll have to see how Red Rocket works for me on rewatches. But as it stands, I think it's like his most impressive film. It's gorgeous. The performances are insane. Like, is it Simon Rex?
Simon Rex. Oh my god, Simon Rex
in the film. I can't believe he comes from like a Scary Movie 2 background and shit like that.
But
because
but at the same time, like, you can believe it just because like he's playing aspects of himself. Like, Baker sees, it's weird. Sean Baker finds like very obscure actors for weird things that he likes. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to his next project or whatever. It's listed on Letterboxd. I forget what it's called, but he took like a cast member from that Judd Apatow movie, The Bubble. Apparently,
oh my god, no!
Apparently, he really liked that movie, and he like saw something in one of the actresses and is like, "Yeah, she's gonna star in my next movie, and it's gonna be great."
Okay,
I trust him.
I mean, I trust him. I mean, he's got performances out of people who are kind of only in crap before, so I mean, we'll see. But love Red Rocket. I love how Bye 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 is incorporated 4 times.
Yeah, bye bye bye.
I actually love Susanna Sun's cover of it. I think it's really pretty, even though I hate the song. Like,
yes, I really love the cover. I think the song is great in the context of the film. I'm not going to go out to like listen to it, but I actually have been listening to Susanna's cover because it's so good. And,
is it on Spotify?
I think so. I know it's on YouTube. I've been listening.
It's on Spotify. It's I have it on my like scores and soundtracks playlist.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I particularly like the third use of Bye 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 involving Simon's character running around. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Incredible. But yeah, no, Red Rocket's amazing. I watched American Mary by the Soska sisters. They're these Canadian twins who make a lot of horror films. They did a segment in the ABCs of Death 2. They did the remake of Cronenberg's Rabid, and they did See No Evil 2 starring Kane.
Oh wait, is the new See No Evil? Or no, wait, is there a sequel to that?
Yes, like the Kane movie from like 2000. No, See No Evil from like 2006.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking Speak No Evil. That's my bad.
Yeah, they're kind of not my kind of directors, but I really, really liked American Mary. It's about like a medical student who's struggling to pay her bills, so she decides to start doing underground like kind of body transformation things for people. And I don't want to say too much else, but I think it's like easily the Soska sisters' best film by far, even though it does have quite a few issues still. I give it like a 7. I thought it was really, really good. It's great character piece, kind of shocked me in a few ways, and it's just bizarre, which I like. I like when films are strange and bizarre. I watched. Okay, I gotta word this correctly. I watched Todd Field's second feature, which is called Little Children. I didn't want to say I watched. Yeah, I wanted to word that correctly. I watched Todd Field's second feature, and I didn't like it. I thought it was very, 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 very kind of smug and kind of boring and kind of, I hate to use the word, but pretentious. And it felt like he'd seen American Beauty and he was like, hey, I can make that. And it's like really, really bad. It's like
that's what American Beauty already feels like to me.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's like, if you don't know what the film's about, it's about Kate Winslet and Patrick Wilson, who kind of have an affair, even though they're married. They're both married and everything. And then Jackie Earle Haley plays a child molester who's just been released from prison, and the entire like suburbia town is shunning him. They've got posters up, and it's just kind of a bit of a mess, honestly. Like, weirdly enough, Jackie Earle Haley's the best part because he's a great actor. Even in shit like that Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which was bad, he is still the best part of that. He's great in Watchmen. I think he's a really solid actor, and he has like 5 scenes in this film, and I'm pretty sure he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. He deserved it because he's great, but everything else about the film is just a total snooze fest. It's like the whitest movie I think I've ever watched in my entire life. There's like scenes where Kate Winslet's at a book club and she's like arguing about if like I can't remember what book they're talking about, but she's talking about a book where somebody's cheated on someone and it's like relating to the film. I'm like, Todd Field, stop sniffing your own farts, man. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it got nominated for 3 Oscars.
It did. I found it. It's
actress,
like the whitest movie I've ever seen. I swear to
God. Actress Jackie Haley and best writing.
There you go. It's so funny because I love Tar. I think Tar's great, and the funny thing about Tar is it's ridiculing kind of pretentious artists, but going back to see Todd Field make a really pretentious film, and he's like, I am so smart. I'm like, dude, what?
It's like how Tropic Thunder, like, you know, it's about actors who think they can get away with anything by actors who are getting away with anything.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan, but I want to see his directorial debut. What's it called? In the Bedroom, I think. I want to see that, maybe see if I like that a bit more. But yeah, Todd Field's second directorial effort, Little Children, is bad. I didn't like it. I watched Saw with Josh, which we spoke about, as well as Saw 2.
Yeah.
Both very fun, even if they're not great films.
No, fuck the first one. Ugh.
Yeah, I like the first, but I can completely get why it wasn't your thing. I completely get that. I rewatched Little Women with Sadie, who had never seen it before, in prep for Barbie, which was amazing. I fucking loved Barbie so much. It's so fun. It's so creative. It's kind of got like, it doesn't have like a fuck you attitude in the same way as something like Gremlins 2 or like Matrix Resurrections. Yeah, I always get Resurrections and Revolutions mixed up. Awful titles. I really like its kind of just like out there gonzo attitude to just, I don't know, Greta's kind of making the film she wants. I'm glad it wasn't just a film for children. Right. Like, it's actually, I don't know. I think it's great. Absolutely. Well acted. So, I was gonna say so funny, very funny. There's moments where it's not super funny. Some of the jokes don't like land as much as I hope. It didn't really detract from my experience. Like, I had like a big smile on my face the entire time. I know this. I shouldn't say this given that it's a Barbie film, but Ryan Gosling is like amazing in the film.
I know, he's one of the best parts.
He's so good. He's like so funny. It sounds silly because Brady mentioned this to me, and I was like, I feel like you're going a bit overboard, but I can kind of stand behind this. Best Supporting Actor nomination, Ryan Gosling, please. The Academy has no balls and they'd never do it, but please.
They just, I mean, they don't really do that for comedies in general.
No,
like,
it wouldn't
more,
happen.
like, yeah.
But come on, do it. Yeah. But I will say the best character in the film, hands down, is Alan. We love Alan.
We are all Alan.
I hope he's okay.
I love Alan so much. He's so funny. But yeah, that was great. I watched Memento with Sadie, and it's still like my favorite Nolan film, like by far. I need to see Oppenheimer, but I love Memento. I think it's so well paced. It's so creative. It's so, I don't know, it's so engaging, and it's kind of genius. And I'm not one of those people who usually talks about Nolan as if he's super genius. Like I think, I don't want to say he's an overrated director, but I think a lot of his films are like overpraised. And
Especially
I definitely
ones that I just don't like as much. Like, I mean, like there's films I don't like. His
Dark Knight Rises
is good, but I don't think they're masterpieces or anything. They're not my favorite Batman adaptation. I don't like Inception as much as a lot of people do, but
Yeah, I think he's a very kind of overpraised because people. The thing with Nolan is people look at him as if he's like this like big alpha-brained individual, but he's kind of just a bit of a dork, and he kind of makes really sappy, kind of stupid films.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Tenet.
I love Tenet because
I love it though.
It is like it's just like him. It's him cosplaying as like a director of a Bond film, and he's like, "Yeah, I really want to make a Bond film, but I know I'm not going to, so I'm just gonna add time travel and stupid shit." It's so stupid. You've got Kenneth Branagh doing like this really, really awful like
Russian character,
Russian accent and everything. He's so hammy and
isn't his name like Sergey or something?
Yes,
like that?
Sergey. And like his third scene in the film, he's like beating up his wife.
What you laughing at and beating up his wife? Fuck me.
It's almost like a stereotype thing for like a Russian mob boss or whatever to do.
No, it's Andrei Sator.
Andrei Sator.
Andrei Sator.
He has a yacht.
He does have a yacht.
He has a yacht, which his wife jumps off of twice. Apparently.
It's so funny. Like I don't know. Like I love elements of Tenet. I think there's elements of Tenet that are like genuinely phenomenal, fantastic, so well made. The score is incredible. I don't know if you guys knew this, but you can actually listen to the score in reverse, and it's still a composition and stuff. It doesn't just sound like nonsense. I'm like, that's kind of great. But it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's just a really dumb movie. And I think that's what, like, people kind of overhype Nolan as this, like, really big-brained individual. And the only time I've ever seen that, like, work effectively for me is Memento, because I think just the skill in kind of crafting a film like that, where it's got two narratives going on at two very, very different times, or like the same narrative in like a before and after situation. But even though you're kind of starting the film, the middle segment of the film, it still introduces these characters in a really interesting way. It's still really well structured. I just find it really fascinating how he was able to accomplish that with his second feature, because I'm not huge on Following from what I remember. Like, I think Following's like, eh. So it's just like such a step up after Following, in my opinion.
I need to rewatch it. Actually, it's one I think I'll appreciate more on my second viewing.
I got two more. Two more.
You're gonna have to run through these decently fast just to get through comments, but
right. I've been going. Okay, Saw 2, that's one of them, and then the other day I watched the film Bros with Sadie.
Yes, love Bros.
Bros was cute. It started off and I was a bit unsure on it because it was the lead character in the film is very angry. Like he's almost insufferable to a point where it's like he's just very angry at the world, and I was like, I don't know where this is going. But then as the film progresses, I understood why. I got like the reasoning behind it, and I think as the film goes on, it gets better. At the start, it kind of feels a bit rough because it wasn't like super funny or anything. But I kind of grew to like the characters and everything, and it's a fine, enjoyable experience. Plus, the cinematography is done by the legendary Brandon Trost, who shot Crank 2, Lords of Salem, Halloween 2. Like, he's one of my favorite cinematographers, and he even took like a Judd Apatow-esque style comedy and made it look gorgeous. So props to him for that. Like, I think that film genuinely looks amazing. Brandon
Does
Trost,
look nice.
you're the best. I don't know why you shot Dear Evan Hansen, but anyway.
Oh, fuck him then.
Anyway, that's it. Right. Okay. I've spoke for so long. Sorry.
No worries. You're all good. In the future, we might have.
I've just seen Brady's comments.
Oh no, I'm scared.
Well, cool. We'll go ahead and move on. And so first of all, we have to be completely honest, saying, "Hey, how's it going? Yeah, doing well. Hope you're doing well too."
I'm living.
And the legend, who we already got to one of his comments, Jake Talks Movies. Yeah, thanks for tuning in as well. Really appreciate it.
Hi, Jake.
And Matt H, who's always dropping in. Yeah, thank you so much, Matt, for dropping by. I really hope you're doing good.
Hi.
And we have an excellent question from Matt, he says, "What do you think of Bringing Out the Dead, one of my favorite Nick Cage films?"
I'm gonna stay out of this one.
Okay, so I'll go to
it.
Leon because I haven't seen it and I really want to see it. But yeah.
Oh, it's like my second favorite Scorsese film. I think it's amazing. It depicts like insomnia and just like the insanity of no sleep better than any film I've ever seen in my entire life. It has like a top 5 Cage performance ever. I think it's so beautiful. The Paul Schrader script is excellent. I love it. I really, really want you guys to watch it. It's so good. I won't go on for too long. I keep talking about
No, that totally. But I have a funny like little story about it. One time I was on my job and I met somebody who was an EMT for work, and he and I don't know how we got to talking about this, but we were talking about like depictions of ambulances and EMTs in film and media. And I mentioned Bringing Out the Dead, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that film's so silly." And I'm like, "That's not what I've heard about it." But okay.
No, it's not. I didn't find it silly. But,
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think it's great though.
Yeah. And Jake says, "I don't know what to watch tonight. Need a hand."
Yeah, watch Sket.
Watch Scat.
Okay. I can't recommend anything at the moment, but yeah, I'll just go with Sket. I'll just second that.
Yes.
The famous Winslow Wave, as always. Thank you so much for
Winslow
dropping in.
Wave.
Hi, Winslow.
Awesome. And he says that he actually rewatched Michael Mann's Manhunter last night. So good. Yeah, I really, really want to check that out. I feel like that could be one of my favorite Mann films, but haven't gotten to it yet. Have you, Leon? You've seen it?
Yeah. I think it's probably my favorite like Lecter story, even though Lecter isn't like a huge focus in that film.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's great. I honestly prefer it to like Silence of the Lambs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's high praise because I fucking love Silence of the Lambs, but I still need to I really want to check that out.
Yeah, no, I really like it. I think it's great.
And Josh, have you seen it?
I haven't. No, I haven't seen any of the Lecter movies.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely give Silence of the Lambs a watch. But yeah, everybody seems to have very high praise for Manhunter. Honestly, one of my favorite portrayals of him is actually the Hannibal TV show. I really love I've only seen the first 2 seasons and then a good portion of season 3. But honestly, like that's probably one of my favorite shows like of all time. Like I think that Mads is really, really terrific as like a different side of Hannibal. You kind of see him as less like the creepy genius and more like a professor who's like hiding all of this stuff. And the kills are because there's lots of serial killer stuff outside of just Hannibal on it, and some of the kills are really creative and just really, really gross. Like it's really, really kind of detailed and like how perverse it is, which I like.
Yeah, I've only seen a handful of episodes, but I really liked what I'd seen.
Yeah, I'm a big fan for sure. Just bought Journeyman Cat o' Nine Tails 4K limited edition and the deluxe edition of John Wick 4. Very nice. I haven't
Nice.
seen the Cat and Nine Tails yet. That's an Argento I want to get around to. And then John Wick Chapter 4. Yeah, that's one of my favorites of the year so far. Absolutely.
I kind
Are
of
those all the Cat and Nine Tails?
They are. We got
wow.
4K. We got our Blu-ray, and we got another 4K with the original
There you
artwork, which
go.
I really like. Yeah, no, I also have 3 copies of Bird for some reason. I don't ask why. I got the original artwork.
I think
4K.
Bird's really underrated. Like it's
Yeah,
like,
I like
it's,
Bird.
Yeah, it's actually like I like it a little bit more than even like Deep Red, to be honest. I think it's just a
Really?
yeah, I think it's like a really
Okay.
solid, super well directed giallo. I love the shot of where I don't want to spoil too much about it, but somebody falls off a building, and just the way that's done is so cool. Big fan.
I'm a huge Argento guy. I also have the limited edition Deep Red and the 4K of Deep Red with the original artwork. I love it.
Vertigo stealing. Like it's literally just Vertigo the poster.
It is. Vertigo 2.
There you go. Winslow says, this week I've watched Blackberry, Dawn of the Dead, Manhunter,
Yes.
and Shaun
Oh my god, Blackberry is so good.
That's a great lineup. Oh my god.
That is a really cool lineup for sure. I want to rewatch both Dawn and Shaun of the Dead just to see how I feel about them in the context of the trilogies. Because I think in the Dead trilogy, I think Day of the Dead's my favorite actually.
I get
Dawn
that.
is just fantastic as well. Shaun of the Dead might. I'm curious if it's second or third in the Cornetto for me. I really like Hot Fuzz, so that's probably my favorite. And then after that, it's between definitely World's End and Shaun of the Dead. But they're all great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Josh? Have you seen the Cornetto trilogy?
Yeah. I've got 2 of them on Voice Guy. I've got 2 of them on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I like Shaun of the Dead's my favorite. World's End is pretty great from what I remember. I kind of relate to Nick Frost in that because I don't drink. Like it just and then it just goes with the water. Because that is literally me every time I go out. And then it just goes fucking ham. But Hot Fuzz is one I used to love, but I don't remember much about it. I remember Timothy Dalton every time he showed up. Was it Timothy?
Oh, he's so good.
I love him so much. He
used to wind me up because he just used to peep around the corner or something all the time. It's just like, yeah.
He's got like a framed photo of himself smiling, and there's a shot of him smiling next to it.
Yeah, every time he shows up, I just want to blow his car up.
Yeah,
every time he shows up.
I could be wrong, but I know Edgar Wright is a huge fan of Airplane, the parody movie from 1980.
Yeah.
And there's a shot. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. But the shot in that of like the guy leaning on the desk with the cigarette, and he's like, "Oh, where the hell's Kramer?" And in the background, there's a photo of him doing exactly that same pose. I think that's what it was in Hot Fuzz, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. Hot Fuzz is it's when I was a kid or when I was young and I watched through the first 2 films because I obsessively loved Shaun and Hot Fuzz as a kid. Shaun was always my favorite. It's the one I'd always go to. But over time, I think Hot Fuzz is one of the greatest comedies ever made. It's a film that I've seen so many times and I still pick up on new things every viewing. I think like we're talking about like Nolan being big brained. Like Edgar Wright is underrated for how fucking like layered and excellent his scripts are, for like just the reincorporation, the subtle jokes that you won't pick up on immediately, just like background gags, visuals. Oh, I love Hot Fuzz so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
But really good lineup there, Winslow. And then
it might be my least favorite Edgar Wright film though.
Really?
Hot Fuzz?
Maybe on revision, yeah. I think Last Night in Soho was there, but I think now Hot Fuzz is underneath that. Because Last Night in Soho is just so unique in terms of its visual presentation. I think it's beautiful. Hot Fuzz is kind of just like a blank slate, even though you've got your editing techniques. But
Oh, you should give it a rewatch. It's
I haven't
so
seen it
good.
for years though. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it since I was like 15.
I
I'm now
imagine you
20.
love it. Give it a
So-
rewatch.
I have a very controversial least favorite Edgar Wright film, and I actually I go back and forth between this one and Soho, but Baby Driver.
I love Baby Driver.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think the style of it is really great, but I think the story kind of falls apart a little bit as it goes on. Like it's just not as engaging, and it's one of his more like generic stories that I think he's done. But the soundtrack's great, obviously, and I love how he kind of syncs it up with all the car stuff in it. It is a really fun film.
I could have won editing if Kevin Spacey shit didn't come out at the same time.
Yeah.
Didn't it lose to like Dunkirk or something? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
remember that line when he was like, I'm stunned by the balls on that kid. That aged well, didn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of people are memeing on that on Twitter.
That cast is horrible. Ansel Elgort and Kevin Spacey. That's rough.
Yeah, both of them.
But Winslow also says here that he watched Miami Blues and Killer Joe as well. Nice. There you go. Nice. I need to see those.
I haven't seen Killer Joe. I want to see it because I've heard it's like really fucked up Friedkin, and I like fucked up Friedkin.
What is it? That's like,
yeah.
I think it's like a serial killer movie.
Have you seen Sorcerer?
No, I really need.
Even though it's not like sicko, like cruising mode or fucked up, it's fucked up. It's like Sorcerer is like an anxiety attack. Like it's really really crazy. I'm actually showing it at a theater near me next week.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. But cruising top tier Friedkin is my favorite.
Cruising's really good. Yeah, I can kind of see a little bit of where people were coming from at the time because the gay community got really mad at it and kind of like protested the film, and I can see elements of that. But I really do think Friedkin wasn't approaching it from that angle. I do think it's more of a movie about the S&M community than it is about the gay community specifically, because you can't really put the gay community into one bubble like that.
I will say, even though I love cruising, there is one scene that is kind of terrible that I think back to constantly.
Is it the interrogation scene?
It's the interrogation scene. It's so funny. It's so funny and utterly bizarre. And I'm like, is this terrible or is this great? I don't know. Like, I kind of want Josh to watch it. Like, just a film.
Some YouTuber, I think it was YMS, said this about it. He was like, look up the scene and watch it, and you will be just as confused as if you've watched the entire film before that.
It's a Blu-ray collection video, isn't
it?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like, I picked this up just because I'd seen the scene on YouTube, but I'm like, that's great. That scene is so fucking funny. Oh, it's really funny. But yeah, no, I really want to see Killer Joe. Yeah, Friedkin's a fascinating director. Even if like I don't always connect with his work, I always find it fascinating. Like Bug, have you seen Bug?
I've not seen Bug.
Oh, Bug's got like a fucking sicko mode performance from
sicko mode. Dude.
Gonzo, sicko cinema energy. I'm pretty sure Hog is included as well, so you'll be happy.
I forget. Is there Hog in Cruising? I feel like there is. I don't know though.
Maybe
there isn't. Maybe it got the strangely no Hog tag from me.
Maybe I was gonna say, does the interrogation scene have Hog?
I don't think it does. I think it'd be like one of the club scenes or something that does, but I don't think so.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know if it is Hog, but anyway.
We also got Jake saying the only Bond film I don't like is Octopussy. Never got on with it. Yeah, okay. I haven't made it. I've heard that era of Roger Moore is pretty bad, like that. And what's the last one? A View to a Kill. Yeah, those are often get cited as like the really bad ones. So we're about to start Roger Moore for the Bondathon. So I'm kind of, there's a few of them I'm excited for. I think I'm gonna really like Spy Who Loved Me and For Your Eyes Only, I think it's called. But Octopussy I'm not stoked for, I'll be honest.
I need to find the name of one of these because I was on Pete's stream last week, I think, or the week before, and Nige was on there. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but Nige fucking hates James Bond.
Oh, he hates Bond so much.
He hates a lot of things like that, which I don't blame him.
As well. Like he hates Alien. Like
yeah, no, he said he hated Eraserhead and that kind of hurt, but it's okay. But I'm trying to find out which one it is that they were talking about. Oh yes, okay. So they mentioned they were trying to sell Nige on the Bond films, and I think Pete and it might have been Andy as well. They mentioned License to Kill, and they sold it to him, which in turn sold it to me as someone who isn't super interested in Bond films, because apparently it's the only Bond film that isn't adapting a novel that already came before it. It's like an original story.
I don't think that's true. A lot of the Craig ones don't, and I think some of the other ones don't. But like
I think up to that
it is
point,
a very
at least
maybe up to that point. Yeah, it's a very like original feeling. Like I mean, it's a little derivative, but it's very like an '80s kind of Cold War thriller.
Yeah, I've heard it's the only one that got like a 15 over here in the UK because of how violent it is, and
there's a head explosion in it. Yeah, basically.
They said it's it's kind of like a Death Wish film, which kind of sold me on it. They said it's really violent.
It's a Death Wish film, and nowhere near as like really. It is a revenge film because Bond essentially goes rogue in it. Because of what happened to his friend Felix Leiter, and he's mad about this, and also like just MI6 doesn't care about it, so he goes completely rogue to kind of like solve the situation on his own. So maybe that's how it's a Death Wish film, but it's not like sleazy trash. Like
I wasn't expecting fully sleazy trash, but just hearing the words Death Wish Bond film kind of have me more intrigued than I traditionally would be.
Yeah.
I've heard it's a pretty fun standalone film that you can kind of just go into and have a good time with. Is this true?
It's like top 3 or 4 Bond for me. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. I really want to check that one out.
Have you seen that one, Josh?
Don't think so. I've mainly just seen the new ones.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah.
Totally. New Bonds. Not too big of a Bond fan, really.
Yeah. No, I that totally understand. Mike from Did You See That saying, "Hey guys, hope you're doing well." Yeah, you too, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
I appreciate you coming on my stream. God, not last week, the week before I left for my trip. Yeah, a lot of fun. Mike, there we go.
That's what Nige says.
Yeah, Nige. To be completely honest, says, "Don't worry, Leon. I technically own 7 copies of Wolverine."
Why the fuck do you own 7 copies of the fucking Wolverine?
Because I have
the Wolverine
of the 3-disc Blu-ray and 1 of the double pack.
God, you.
With,
why?
Origins. Well, if you have a Blu-ray that like comes with a DVD, I don't know if I'd count that as like many times of owning it. I don't know though.
4, 5, 6.
Because like that would mean I own all the John Wick twice, but I only have one of the set, or at least the first 3 of them. But
yeah, I own The Thing so many times. I've got it on 4K. I've got it on Arrow Video. I've got a steelbook of it. I've got like a HMV Premium VHS style. I own The Thing too many times, but it's a thing.
You can't own The Thing enough times. That's
it's so good. It's so good.
And he also says, "I have no excuse but to watch the Wolverine."
You haven't seen it.
That's just amazing that you own a film 7 times and haven't.
You own it fucking. Oh my god. And it's the Wolverine. It's not even After Sun or anything. It's fucking Wolverine.
Of course.
How many times do you own After Sun, Josh?
I'd own 7 copies of that.
Okay, just the one.
He only owns 1. I do have.
I want 7 of them.
I do have Police Story like 3 times, like the Police Story 1 and 2, Police Story Trilogy on 4K, and then somewhere down there I've got the Criterion double bill as well. So I own those.
I'm kind of mad that the Criterion double bill doesn't come with Super Cop, because I've heard that that's better than 2.
Yeah, I want to check it
like
out.
2 I thought was okay, but like I Super Cop I've heard really good things about. Yeah.
Nice 4K.
I've got
88 Films released Super Cop in the States on 4K and like a nice limited edition from what I've heard, and I love 88, so pick that up maybe if
Yeah.
you want to see that on 4K.
I've got a couple movies which I've got on Apple TV which I bought as upgrades, but apart from that, yeah, like Mad Max Fury Road, I got the 4K on Apple TV for like £3, but
Okay,
it's in my
not bad.
Mad Max set, so
Yeah.
Makes sense.
just
Jake says, Leon, do you have any way I could get my hands on Killer Clowns from Outer Space? I'm losing my marbles trying to find it.
No, but I can show off my lovely copy and be like, haha, I have it.
I forget, do you like
Sorry.
it?
Oh, I love Killer Clowns.
Oh, okay,
that sounds
God.
horrible.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so good. It's
So
like
what you
genuinely-
just said. Oh, I don't know
Oh.
where you can find it, but I'm going to show you my copy just to piss you off.
I'm only kidding, Jake.
That's so fucking
That was
bad.
mean. It was funny. Come on. Yeah, it's like really out of print now.
Yeah.
So it's
sure
an
if you just want to watch it once, like I'm sure you can find it online somewhere. I know it's
it'll
on.
probably be
It was on Prime not long ago, at least for me.
Well,
Was
it's
it?
MGM, so it probably will go back on Prime eventually anyway. Now that like Amazon own Prime, but honestly, now I have nothing backing this up. This is just me theorizing. Because it's an MGM title, and MGM seems to work good with boutique labels, I wouldn't be surprised if like Kino Lorber release it in the States soon because the Arrow ones went out of print. Because Kino released a lot of MGM titles. So maybe keep your eyes peeled there, or maybe like Vinegar Syndrome will do like a 4K of it at some point. But yeah, the Arrow release is very out of print. I think it goes for like 50, 60 pounds or something crazy now. It's like really expensive. But yeah, if you can find it on like YouTube or maybe Prime or something, check some streaming service. I'm sure it'll be somewhere.
Yep.
But
at least a few months ago, I'm pretty sure I saw it there. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. I really.
I want to figure it out. It looks fun.
I reckon you'd love it. I reckon you'd
probably.
Love it.
Jake says I'll watch the Saw films with you guys. Love the franchise.
Nice.
Well, we're already quite deep in.
Yeah, we are deep in at this point, but yeah.
Well, maybe when he and Josh finish, and then we restart so that I can watch it, then Jake, you can join us. Maybe.
Yeah. Well,
talk
all
about
three
that.
of us will go through it. Yeah. we gotta get you prepped for Saw X, Jackson.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
You know what's funny? When I went to see Oppenheimer again yesterday, a trailer came on that I didn't think I recognized, and I was like, "Oh, is this Saw X?" Because like it's kind of giving me horror vibes. And then no, it's just the Exorcist trailer that I had already seen again. but it's so bad that one, I thought it was a Saw movie, and two, I didn't recognize it. Like
so
bad trailer.
It's so funny. I think that trailer has kind of like raised my expectations for how funny it will be.
David Gordon Green can't help himself, can he? And make shit.
I love Halloween Ends. I do defend Halloween Ends, but his other two films,
I really like Halloween 2018. I think that one's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's funny because the best movie he's made, he hasn't even fucking directed. He was in Bones and all for like 2 seconds.
David Gordon.
Like, that's the best.
He was one of the cannibals, right? The fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's also in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent for like a minute earlier.
Oh, he's not, is he? Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's funny because they got David Gordon Green as like a director who really wants, who Cage really wants to be in a film for, but like David Gordon Green turns him down. But it's so funny because David Gordon Green was the second choice for that because another David turned down the opportunity, and it was Lynch, and it makes me sad because that would have been so funny if they had David Lynch in Unbearable Weight. But
we wasn't Cage in Joe? The David Gordon Green movie?
He is, yeah, he's in Joe. Yes. I like Joe. I think Joe's.
I haven't seen it, but I need to check that one out.
Yeah,
I need to meet him. I need to meet him. Sorry.
One guy. Winslow says Tokyo Sonata is fantastic. Talking about Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Yeah, I've heard really good things about that one, which is weird because it doesn't like it looks like it almost looks like a modern like Ozu film. It looks very kind of relatively lighthearted, but maybe not lighthearted is the word, but not nowhere near like his horror stuff. Like it's very different.
I need to see some Ozu stuff. I've never seen any of his films, but
I own one back here, but just the one. I do want to see more, but I haven't seen this yet. But I got a really good deal on late spring.
Oh, nice.
Which, I think I was in a video store in Seattle when I was visiting my sibling, and I got this for like $18, which is a pretty good deal for Criterion here. So,
yeah, that's a good price.
Yeah. We also have Mike saying Jake. It's just the gag. We have to do it always. Winslow says Into the Abyss is another good Herzog dog. I think he means dog, but yeah.
Dog.
About Death Row. Wow.
Yeah, I've heard about Into the Abyss. I've heard that's like a really, really great doc as well. I've got this like Herzog set here, which is like similar to the Shout one released in the States by the BFI, and it has 18 films of his. Bear in mind, some of these are like pretty short. Like they're just like some of them are like 5 to 10 minute long shorts, but it's got like all of the big ones in here. His Nosferatu film.
Is that on the cover, right?
Say that. Yeah. Fitzcarraldo's on there.
The poster. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What else have we got here?
Does it have a Gear?
Yes, it does. That's included. God's Angry Man. There's one like really early one called Handicapped Future, which is great, where he's kind of talking about like handicapped. He's interviewing handicapped children and stuff, and that came out in 1970. Yeah, 1970, and that's like a really solid short, even though it's only about 40 minutes long. I really like that. But yeah, I want to check out more in here because I find him so fascinating as a filmmaker. Like, everything I've seen from him, I think I've kind of loved. Like, I don't think there's any film of his I don't love. Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
I really want to see that. Fun. As a massive fan of the Bad Lieutenant, which has nothing to do with that one, I really want to see it.
Yes. It's very, very funny. There's just sequences where lizards are on screen, and when like Herzog was asked about it, he's like,
"What?
There's no meaning to this. I just wanted a lizard in a shot." And I'm like, I totally believe him. I don't think for a second there's any symbolism with just random shots of lizards. It's just, yeah, he just wanted lizards. And I'm like,
have you ever seen the clip of him where he's talking about how he didn't know that John Waters was gay?
Yes,
I love that.
Great. It's one of the greatest clips on YouTube.
He's like, for me, a man or a chair is a chair. So like, I didn't know this man is gay. Not that I have anything against him being gay, but I just didn't know for whatever.
I turned to my wife and I'm like, I think this man is gay.
I think this man is gay.
He's great.
Any of his movies.
Oh, I love him. Oh god, Werner's great. He's so innocent. Have you seen the clip where he's being interviewed by Mark Commode and he gets shot?
No.
Oh,
So Mark Commode's interviewing Werner Herzog in some foreign country, and Werner literally gets shot in the stomach, and he doesn't even react. And
wait, like with Mark's a gun?
Like, yeah, someone shot him with like a gun or something. And then they go back to the hotel room, and he's like bleeding, and he's like, "I didn't even notice. I didn't even feel anything." And I'm like, "What?"
I'm gonna have to find this after the stream.
It's so good. It's on YouTube. There's you should. Can you play it on stream with audio?
I can find it.
It's on YouTube. It's like a 2-minute long clip.
What's it called?
Funny.
Oh, just type
in Werner Herzog gets shot. Let's do a live reaction to this.
Yeah, cool. Found it, I think.
Oh, it's so funny. I think it's only like a minute or two long, but I think
it's like a minute and a half.
Interviewed. Oh, it's so funny.
What?
Dude, Werner's...
Let me so hold on, present share screen.
I found it.
Yes.
Jackson, I found it.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah. I've got it loaded.
No, okay. So do I just let you?
Yeah, you just add it in. So when you add people in, it's got screen bit.
I don't understand.
Okay.
Wait, what?
I've never added clips before.
I was just gonna share the screen, but
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Live reaction to Werner Herzog being shot.
Here we go.
Oh, you found it?
Yes.
You hear the audio?
There was a bit of a story about him being shot when he was with you, and I think he's been talking it up in the press, hasn't he?
What's happened is when I interviewed Herzog for the Culture Show a while ago for about his film Grizzly Man, I was interviewing him in Los Angeles, out on an open road, and in the middle of the interview, he got shot. He now has been telling that story and dining out, and every time he tells the story, he becomes more courageous, which I have to say he was. And we, the BBC, become more and more cowardly. It's like, oh yes, they were ducking and running away. And to me, it is an insignificant bullet.
Well, I think in the mood of fairness and transparency that the BBC is embracing at the moment, we can all relive that as it actually happened right now.
In Germany, I've somehow left a paved road. Nobody cares about my films. For example, what's...
Oh!
What was that?
Why did they shoot him?
We quickly realised that some wacko had taken a pot shot at us with an air rifle, and Herzog had been hit. So this literally just happened when we were standing outside there,
camera.
and there was a noise, and it was a whiz, and you just said, "I've been shot." Look, you're bleeding.
I think here somewhere. Yeah.
Look, God. That's somebody shot at you and created a wound in your abdomen.
It's not significant.
The scariest reveals the bullet wound. It's hard not to go, but he's wearing paisley boxer shorts.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's not significant is my favorite quote of Werner's ever.
The screen's back to us, right?
Yeah, everything's back to normal. Oh, he's great. He's such a gem.
I thought you were good. So, not that this isn't a significant thing, but an air rifle is just like a BB gun, pretty much, or like an airsoft. But not to say it doesn't hurt and that it can't wound you, and that wasn't significant. But like, I thought you were meant that he got shot with like a legit. Like,
I thought that as well.
Oh my god! I hyped it up too much.
A little bit.
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry, but he didn't.
I thought he was going to get shot by a fucking. I thought he was going to get shot by an AK-47, and it would have just been like, that's insignificant.
I mean, if he was shot with an AK, I'm pretty sure he'd still say the same thing.
It's not significant.
He would not give a fucking. He would not give a shit.
He's great.
Crazy man.
I love him.
Jake says, "How you doing, Mike?" Winslow says, "Isn't there a fan cut of Raising Kanan supposed to be good?" Yeah, that's what you were talking about. It's like quasi director's cut. Just like
it's like it's approved by him, even though it's not an official director's cut. But for like namesake, everyone refers to it as a director's cut now.
Okay, I can't remember because I remember I watched the De Palma documentary.
Is that the Noah Baumbach one?
Yes.
Okay, I really want to.
Yeah, so it's when they talk about Raising Kanan, I don't remember if they talk about that cut of it.
Okay,
I have to go back to it. I maybe I tuned out a little bit because I hadn't seen the film and I just didn't. But Winslow says, "I want to check out Southland Tales. Which cut is the best?"
Leon's been telling me to watch this fucking film for what 3 months now.
No, you don't know what Southland Tales is, and I love that. It's fucking crazy. We've got to watch it for the podcast.
I've seen it. I don't think I know what Southland Tales is.
Yes,
like.
Beautiful Arrow release with the Cannes Film Festival cut, which is like 10 minutes longer for some reason.
I think that's the one that we watched, actually. I think that's the one that I watched. And I don't know the difference, but probably
there's a couple of extra sequences, but I'd say that's the better version of the film. Yeah.
It's just such a bizarre thing because it's the adaptation of a comic series that was like 6 issues or something like that. But the film opens with an exposition that just describes the first 3, and then it starts in chapter 4, and it goes 4 to 6. Like
the fuck?
Yeah,
it's like and the I'm pretty sure that the comics that it's based on were like written for the film, right? Like they didn't exist prior to this. Like, wasn't it just like something that was built in universe? Like Richard Kelly wrote the comics as well, or am I? Yeah,
I think yes.
It's so nuts, and I've heard he wants to do like a live action or like a animated series for the first 3 books, adapting those. And I'm like,
what?
Southland Tales is. It might be too like big brain for me. I don't think I've got a big enough brain for Southland Tales.
So there's things I have an interpretation of it, but I think that. If you watch the film, there's all this weird shit that like destroys any interpretation you could have of it. But like, I think for me, it's that the post 9/11 kind of era in the US is a bunch of corrupt nonsense, but the key word is like nonsense, which is like what it feels like when you watch the film. It feels like all this stupid shit that you can't understand, but that is like translating like what it feels like at that time. And I really love how I love the idea that like rich people are just like they're the reason that they don't care about society, the reason they don't care about like, you know, structural problems is that they're just saving up all of their resources for one party at the end of the world in Los Angeles.
Yes.
It's
What
like
is
it's
this
basically
film?
like Richard Kelly's The Book of Revelations. Like that's what Southland Tales is.
It's if I had to describe it as anything for Josh, it's like how David Robert Mitchell or whatever made It Follows, and then he made Under the Silver Lake after. It's kind of the same thing as that, where it's like he's taking all of his clout to kind of make a fuck you feature doing what he wants to do, and it just kind of backfired with audiences completely, but now it's got a huge cult following. Yeah, Southland Tales is something. It is
something else. I mean, like it's one of those movies that like no matter what your taste is, it's really hard to recommend because I feel like you could love it or hate it. Like it's
a Showgirls.
Showgirls. But Showgirls I think is much more cohesive and works much better in terms of like what it's trying to say and the satire and all that. Southland Tales is like, again, I think it's almost like intentional nonsense. Like,
you know that Showgirls is one of my favorite movies of all time, guys. Come on.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you'll love Southland Tales.
I found it. So actually, I posted this on my Instagram, but my friend who lives in New York City sent this to me that IFC Films there are doing a 35 millimeter screening of Showgirls at some point.
Nice.
She's like, you have to fly out for this, and I'm like, I really wish I could, but because we both love Showgirls.
There's no but. You're going to.
I'm going to. I have to.
Good. You have to.
A lot of effort for Showgirls, but if you love the movie that much, I'd fly to Alaska to see After Sun in a big screen. So
There
I
you
guess
Yeah. We got
We'll do
Mike
it.
saying, I'm doing good, mate. I hope you and everybody else in the chat's doing well. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
And we're about to get to Brady, I know, here in a second.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, some people thought he was a troll. I had to clarify that he's not.
Yeah. Del Boy says, hey guys, hope you're doing well. Hey Del Boy. Yeah, good to see you as well. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Hope you're doing well too.
I think, doesn't Brady leave this message always?
Every single time. Every single time, like a variation on this message. Thanks, Brady. Thanks.
Oh, I got one too. Nice.
I got one as well.
Nice.
Through the poop.
That one doesn't. That's not even a pun. Horsetooth, horse poop. That kind of rhymes. Like, but
through the poop. Well, you can't really do much with my name.
Through the poop. Poop. Poop.
I think I confused some people with my review of Diamonds Are Forever yesterday because I just said it's a poop bathing classic. Basically the film opens on this sequence of like Bond like hunting down Blofeld in this lair, and Blofeld is like, so there's this old man sitting in this giant mud bath. It really does look like poop though. And Blofeld, I think he's trying to clone himself this way or something. There's Diamonds Are Forever.
Why is it, in a James Bond film, why is there so much complex stuff like that?
I was really hoping when you said like a poop film, I was just hoping you would say like it opened with James Bond taking a shit or something. Like I was really hoping you would go to.
I can't talk too long. I gotta poo.
Harmony Korine's James Bond would probably do that.
Just like an elongated shot of him taking a shit.
Be like the beach bum for James Bond.
The beach Bond.
Beach Bond.
The beach.
Jake says, I was thinking about watching a documentary called Curse Films. It's about the Crow Poltergeist.
Yeah, that's on Shudder. I've seen a couple of episodes. It's like a series on Shudder.
Okay.
They did one on Cannibal Holocaust, the Twilight Zone movie, which are you aware of the Twilight Zone?
Oh yes, movie? I'm well aware of Mr. Landis.
Good old Landis.
Yeah.
Never forget.
Do you know what we're talking about, Josh? Okay, so John Landis, beloved director of Animal House and American Werewolf in London, he killed some kids. When they were shooting the Twilight Zone movie, so
I heard about this. Didn't they drown or something?
No, so there were 4 directors on the Twilight Zone movie. It was Steven Spielberg, George Miller, Joe Dante, and John Landis, and they were shooting like different segments of it. And in John Landis's segment, there was a helicopter involved, and there were a bunch of explosions as well. Is that right?
I believe so. Yeah.
There were basically like Landis had the helicopter flying like way too low and in very dangerous, like hazardous areas with the explosives, and he like, I forget if the kids were in the helicopter or if the helicopter crashed into it, but they died because of him just being very reckless on the set. And Spielberg like completely disowned Landis. I think Miller did as well, and poor Joe Dante had to clean up the rest of the film and basically finish it.
When you said clean up, I was like,
well, I don't mean clean up the literal like.
You had to go around with a broom with the fucking.
I thought you were just like fucking George Miller and Spielberg walk off set, and then like Dante has to deal. He's like, oh.
Dante has to get a broom and a mop.
We should not be laughing about this shit.
We shouldn't, but the way he worded it made it sound like Joe Dante had to clean up.
He goes in, he bends down with a dustpan and brush and broom and shit, mopping up.
Anyway.
Oh, that's just some kid's hair. Oh, it's just
Jesus, Josh.
No, but the way you said it, like it sounds like Operation Cleanup.
I think my favorite, I shouldn't say favorite thing about this, but I love how no. So
my favorite thing about the Twilight Zone film where kids got fucking incinerated by Landis.
No, it's when Red Letter Media had Max Landis on for the worst episode of Best of the Worst they've ever uploaded, and Max attempts to make a joke about the Twilight Zone incident, and it doesn't go over like whatsoever. Like you can tell that like Mike and Jay are just like, ha ha ha, so funny, and then they make fun of Max Landis like a year later after all the allegations came out, and they remove the video and everything. There's mirrors of that video still up, but they make a joke about like like a Landis tragedy, and they were like, and it's not that one or something along those lines, and I think they're just insinuating the like having Max Landis on, but they made a John Landis joke too. I love Red Letter Media.
Didn't Max Landis he wrote Chronicle, didn't he?
Yeah, and he also wrote Bright.
I was gonna say he didn't direct it, but he wrote Bright.
I forgot he wrote Bright. Fuck me, idiot.
Remember the quote when he said Bright is his Star Wars?
I think I did. Yeah, I mean my favorite review for Bright on Letterboxd is Josh Lewis. He says like Max Landis is all like, guys, consider this. What if racism was real? And then everybody's like
oh my god, that movie is such ass. That movie's ass.
Terrible. It's so funny as well because everyone now is like, oh my god, release the A cut of Suicide Squad, and I'm like, he followed Suicide Squad up with Bright, full creative control over. Look how that one turned out. I don't think Suicide Squad's gonna be good.
The trailer for Bright was better than the film itself. Like I like the trailer.
Following in Suicide Squad steps, I see.
Yeah. Who did get to edit this one? Fuck. Like the editing in Suicide Squad was done by a trailer house, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think Del Boy here is talking about that Cursed film series because I think his next.
Yes. That has a
series.
Yeah.
No, I'll have to check that out.
Zone.
You like what? Sorry?
I'm not laughing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to like laugh when I bring up Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight Zone here.
It's not funny, but I just can't get the visual of Joe Dante cleaning up out of my head.
Oh, I can't.
Just picture Joe Dante's
It's
like,
in my head, it was such
fucking
an
gremlins.
obvious thing what I was referring to, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, you could you could totally interpret it that way. Going back to
I made fucking gremlins, and now I'm cleaning up. I'm not even gonna continue that.
wait, what year? Oh, I think it was Twilight Zone movie. I think was '83, which I think Gremlins was actually the next year.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
I'm about to make gremlins, and I'm doing this shit.
Maybe Gremlins is just him.
It's not Clint
going
Eastwood,
on.
Leon.
I
You're not
don't know
gonna
what
clean
Joe
up here.
Dante sounds like. I don't. I feel like I should know what Joe Dante sounds
I
like.
don't
know
think
what he
even
sounds
he
like.
knows what he
He
sounds like.
seems just like a very cool guy in general. Like, I think I would like to have a chat with Joe Dante.
Oh yeah, he seems cool.
Yeah. Winslow says I wasn't a fan of Miami Blues. Felt a bit like if Jonathan Demme made a true romance, just not as much of a fan of, just not as fun as Demi's work.
I see that. If I had to compare Miami Blues to anything, it kind of feels like, and so many people on Letterboxd say this, but it's like if GTA Vice City was a film, but it came out like 10 years before. It's very stylized. Miami looks amazing in it. It's got a great kind of scumbaggy performance, like scuzzy performance from Alec Baldwin, who, I mean, I don't know whose idea it was to have a picture of Alec Baldwin holding a gun. I'm here today with tragedy jokes all day. I'm fucking doing terrible today. I'm sorry.
love 'em.
But yeah, I don't know why that's a cover art. But yeah, no, Alec Baldwin's good in the movie. I forget who else is in it, but there's some really, really fun performances in it. But yeah, I get what you mean about it kind of being like a Jonathan Demme film. It's what's that Demme film? Something Wild. I think I'd kind of compare it a bit to Something Wild, which is also very, very fun. I like Something Wild a bit more though. But yeah, no, Miami Blues is fun.
Nice. He also we were mentioning Dawn of the Dead and stuff he's watched recently. He says it's more silly than I remembered in points. I completely forgot about a biker gang smashing zombies in the face with green pies.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's funny. It's like that's the stuff I really like about Dawn of the Dead. I love the kind of silliness of it, and I love like the absurd like mall satire. Like all the zombies go back to the mall because that's what gave their life meaning, you know. But weirdly, I do like it when the trilogy goes a bit more serious, like with Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead is just like complete nihilism, and I kind of like that about it.
Well, Day is so morbid. I love it.
Yeah. Josh, I think did I ask you this earlier? If you've seen Dawn of the Dead?
I haven't. I saw the Zack Snyder one.
Okay.
Because of course
I've heard good things about that. Actually, I've heard it's like one of his better films.
It's fine. It's whatever. Sarah Polley, who directed Women Talking, she's in it.
Yep. So she's been as an actress, she's been in quite a few things.
Yeah.
Delboy says I'm gonna go watch the Asphyx. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Asphyx, the extended cut. About time I got that big boy watched.
What is that?
I don't know what that is.
Or is that just like a different film? Because I know The Abyss has a director's cut. I've never heard of the Aphex Twin.
Like asphyxiation.
Aphex Twin.
David Carradine.
I'm looking this up real quick. There's a film called the Asphyx, directed by Peter Newbrook. Apparently, I've already watch listed it, but I don't feel like I've heard of it. Okay, yeah, I don't know why I watch listed that, but
I'm kind of sad that my David Carradine joke didn't go over too well. I mean, I'm knocking it out of the park today with tragic jokes, so I figured I'd go free for free. Did you not get the David Carradine one, Jackson?
No, I did not.
You said asphyxiation. David Carradine, he technically committed. He didn't commit suicide, but he killed himself by committing the act of autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh.
Which is not funny, but
it's not funny.
It's also just like Jesus Christ, dude. It's not funny.
It's just kind of.
It's like Jesus. Man.
What asphyxiation?
Autoerotic. He was basically like strangling himself, so he.
No, but you have to kind of think to yourself: are you fucking dumb? Like, we're just gonna.
David Carradine is such a fascinating individual to me.
No, but it's like, are you dumb?
I love that one of his final performances is him playing an Asian man in Crank 2 called Poon Dong.
Oh,
Is that just a kung fu joke? Because because he, with kung fu, like he kind of brought a lot of martial arts stuff to the U.S. Yeah,
he's not even a martial artist. He's just a creepy pervert in that film.
Crank 2.
He's just
Crank
a creepy pervert. That film came out I think 3 weeks before he died as well, and it's just it
Crank
was
2.
The last film he was in when he was alive was Crank 2, and then he went out. And I need to stop going with these jokes. I gotta stop making jokes about tragedies. I'm turning into Norm Macdonald with 9/11.
But 9/11 was a national tragedy.
It was a national tragedy. Why are we laughing? People who are not
that clip so much.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah. People who are not educated are gonna think we're
I'm gonna get cancelled now for saying that is David Carradine dumb.
We went through 4 tragedies in the space of 10 minutes.
I'll tell you how we really feel about this world, huh?
Jake says the swans escaped.
Oh,
what?
Hot Fuzz.
What is this?
Hot Fuzz. The swans escaped.
Right.
I don't remember.
Jake.
Fucking dumbass.
Question for UK people: why the hell was Hot Fuzz always on ITV2?
It was.
Huh? Is that
a more
obscure channel or something? Or...
No, that's one of the main TV networks. It's I don't know why it was always on there, but they always played the first 2 Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and then I think was it ITV or BBC who constantly played the Harry Potter films in the 2000s and
BBC.
Yeah, it was the BBC. I don't know what it is, but certain TV channels just constantly kept playing these films over and over again for a certain period. And
the problem is, right, is Harry Potter's very, very, very fucking British, and BBC is very much ew, cup of tea kind of British, like Harry Potter is. Hot Fuzz is all right, mate, kind of ITV2 football shit. So...
No, it's not. What
are you talking about?
You made it sound like a Chav movie. You made it sound like
practically is because they say cunt a lot. They say fuck off.
It's like scat.
It is like sket fuzz.
No, ew.
Not sket.
Like disease. Scat fuzz. Ew.
Hot sket. Then I don't know.
Sounds like porn. I'm sorry for deviating the stream. This is turning into a train wreck because
it's been a fatal deviation. Does anybody get that joke? Do you know the movie? Are you aware of Fatal Deviation? It's an
Is that a rip off of Basic Instinct?
No, it's the only Irish martial arts film.
Oh, it's the one that you told me about before. I really want to see this. It sounds amazing.
It's fantastic.
Oh, it sounds so good.
ITV2 is a digital freeview channel. ITV1 is an old established channel which shows a lot of owned content. Films on ITV1 happen and then rotate. Okay. That makes sense.
You go.
Okay. Hot Fuzz has been on ITV1, but there's advertisers on ITV1 sponsor new dramas or program. Where did Josh go?
Josh disappeared.
He'll come back, I'm assuming. Okay.
He's so embarrassed by the David Carradine joke.
It's really not that bad.
It's not. Josh, come back. We miss you.
There we go.
Sorry, my Ethernet cable decided to play silly buggers on me, and
we thought it was you were just ashamed about the David Carradine joke.
No, I think the government might have gotten rid of me. I'm gonna be put on death row before I'm 30. Wouldn't be surprised.
Charlie Bronson's gonna be after you.
Speaking of Charlie Bronson,
you won't get far.
Del Boy says that they've had Death Wish.
That's a great segue. I didn't even know that was coming. Oh, that's great.
Have you seen Death Wish 4 and 5? Because
I've seen 4. 4 is
Okay.
me and Brady are trying to go through them, and Death Wish 4 almost put us off watching like the 5th one. Death Wish 4 is so bad. He's got like a toupee on, and he's so old. He's like not moving around whatsoever. Like, you know how he's got like the funny punchlines and like quips before he kills someone. The
Yeah.
opening scene in Death Wish 4 has like one of the worst, but it's kind of insanely quotable. Me and Brady quote it constantly. Like some guy's like, "Dude, who the fuck are you?" And then he's just like, "Death."
Nice.
Is it just a close up of his mouth when he says that?
No, it's just like a shot of him with like a gun down here, and he's like, "Death." And it's like, oh my fucking god, it's so lazy. Danny Trejo's in it, and I think his first role, and he like blows up in his first scene.
Okay. I'm gonna have to watch. I mean, I have a feeling that like the fun is mostly over with 3. Like 3 is like the
3
peak of it.
is 3 is such an insane film. We need to show Josh Death Wish 3. I don't think Josh would like Death Wish 2. I think
I don't
Josh
think he would like Death Wish 2 either, and I know he wouldn't like the first one.
Yeah, the first 2 Death Wishes, I don't think they're Josh approved. I don't. But Death Wish 3, I think maybe.
I don't like the first one. Like I think the first
I don't really like the first. Yeah, it's dull.
Yeah. But it was originally called License Revoked, but they changed that America would understand revoked.
Yeah, that's for what is it? License to Kill.
Oh, really? Oh, that's really funny. Actually,
Yeah.
License Revoked. Because that's what happens.
License
License to Kill is just a way cooler title for an action movie.
Yeah, I think License Revoked. Like, I think I was reading up on the wiki page about it, and they thought it just sounded like getting their car license removed or something, which sounds so funny.
Yeah,
like it's like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Philosopher's Stone. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's just like Americans won't understand what a philosopher is.
But a philosopher, the thing is like. That's just somebody who is like a writer about either moral philosophy or like metaphysical philosophy. It's like it's not different from a sorcerer. Like,
yes, very different. I don't get it.
I've never understood the British title of that. I'm like, why? I don't know.
No, it's strange. It's so strange.
Yeah. The only film I've ever double dipped on is Wolf of Wall Street. I have the Arrow limited edition, and it still look very nice. I'm surprised that has an Arrow release specifically, just because it's such a big movie, but that's really cool that it does.
You know who released Wolf Over Here, right? This might blow your mind.
Was it? Who was it?
Yeah. Oh no!
It was Universal.
Okay.
Which is weird because it's like a Paramount film over there. Also, it's stuck.
Yep.
But yeah, they released it on 4K over here, and it comes in this really, really cool set here.
Does the 4K look good?
Oh yeah, the 4K looks very good. And you get
oh wow,
a little baggie included. You get $100 bill included. You get business cards included. It is so cool. I really like this release a lot.
It's like the ultimate like Sigma grind set.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's great. And then you've got a booklet which looks like a wad of bills, which is really funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, this is a really cool release. But yeah, no, I'm glad that Arrow actually released this because I don't think it would have got a 4K otherwise. Because again, it's like Paramount in the States, and I don't think Universal were going to release this on the 4K over here. So yeah. They were supposed to be releasing Inglourious Bastards on 4K. Arrow were.
They didn't?
No, they haven't released it yet. No.
Universal did a shit job with it.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do like a new res or something because that Inglourious 4K is terrible.
Same with Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim's so stinky. Like the 4K, not the film.
I was gonna say, like, if you hate
another Edgar Wright joint.
I love Scott Pilgrim.
Jake
That's probably why they're bad then. Because it's written by Danny McBride. That's probably why they're shit.
Danny McBride is writing the Exorcist. He's writing the Exorcist trilogy.
They're really not that. Kills is dog shit. Like this script anyway. But the other two, like I think the script in the first one has a lot of really good ideas about like essentially like role reversing. Laurie
Please don't
and-
tell me he's writing Exorcist.
Oh, he
He
is.
is.
That's what
He's doing the
Leon just said.
trilogy.
I'm gonna end myself. I fucking
Halloween
suck.
ends.
It reminds me. What is it? What is it that they say?
Through the
yeah,
lens ends.
in the
I'm like,
trailer is Body in the Blood. That's what she keeps going on about.
Yeah,
Body in the
Right.
it looks so funny. Why is the trailer like almost 4 minutes long? By the way, like why are trailers so
know.
long now?
The Ellen
God.
Burstyn bit made me laugh, where it
I was
just
gonna say-
flashed and she's just like
Yeah.
through a window.
Well,
She's like,
Ellen Burstyn reminds me of how Sean Connery looks in Diamonds Are Forever, just like insanely bored. Like she just goes up to the windows, like, "Oh, okay." Like, "Hey guys."
So every time I hear her speak, she sounds like she wants to cry. She's like, like every time she speaks, it's
That
like,
just sounds like what she's like at the end of Requiem for a Dream.
no, but every time she speaks, she sounds like she wants to cry.
Like,
And
Ellen
it's like-
Burstyn's the gem, but that just sounded like the end of Requiem.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Leon, did you rewatch Requiem for a Dream and not like it?
It's not that I didn't like it. I think it's good.
Oh, I like it. I think it's
Definitely
great.
don't like it as much
I
anymore.
kind of hate it. I haven't.
Yeah,
I don't know, it's still like a 2 for me. Like I do like the. I don't know. I think Ellen Burstyn is really good in it.
2?
Yeah, a 2 out of 5. Yeah. No, I think it's such a surface level stupid movie. It's like a dare movie. Like a
Drugs are bad.
drugs are bad, kids. Like it's. It's good. I've seen so many films about addiction that I think do it better, like Trainspotting.
The
There's a
Whale.
double-ended dildo scene. What's not to love?
Huh?
There's
The
a double-ended.
That scene is fucking racist. That scene is like anti-race mixing. Like
I didn't even notice that. I was just like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that.
Whale is a really good film about addiction.
Oh, it's the best.
What is?
The Whale.
Whale.
Fucking. We should have cast Nico Avocado in the role. He would have done a better
Dude,
job.
people are amazing. I'm a writer. I use the word amazing because I'm so smart.
We've got so many cancel-worthy moments for me this stream. It's so funny. But
I think like how Jackson gives like Requiem like a 2 out of 5, and that's his kind of like hot take. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I kind of think Brendan's bad in The Whale, but that's
he is.
just me.
He's not
And
good.
I like him. I like Brendan, but he kind of sucks in The Whale, and it's just because he's got nothing to work with. Like. I really can't wait for Jackson to watch The Whale. I'm kind of expecting like a 1 star from you.
I kind of expect it, but you know what's funny is like last year when I saw Elvis, I wasn't huge on the movie or anything. I thought I really enjoyed the first hour, and it kind of fell off for me after that. But I thought Austin Butler was brilliant in it, and I was like, I was like, this has to like this guy's gonna run away with Best Actor, and then fucking Brendan Fraser for the Whale. So this year, like with Cillian Murphy, I just watched that performance, and I'm like, that's got to be it. Nobody else has a chance. And then something's gonna happen like later this year where there's gonna be some weird
The Whale too.
like some.
It's gonna be like Barry Keoghan in Saltburn or something.
Yeah,
It's
something.
which
gonna
is
be
Andrea
Tobin
Arnold's new film.
It's gonna be Tobin Bell and Saw X. You guys are just like completely off the mark.
It's gonna be Jason Statham and Meg
If it-
2.
Meg
Oh,
2
if-
the Trench.
If it's Tobin Bell, I will delete my fucking channel.
Why? He's so good. He's so good. Tobin Bell. Is a
I'm
gem.
seeing Meg 2 on Friday. I'm
Oh,
excited.
I didn't know
believe
it comes
that's
out that
out
soon.
already.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to sneak in a
forgot
bottle
that.
of vodka and shit and just fuck around. That'd be very funny.
I don't know how
Just-
you feel about that. I know Josh. I don't know if Josh agrees with me, but Leon, I think that Meg 2 looks more fun than the first one.
Meg 2
Oh, it
looks
does,
more
yeah.
fun, and it's actually got a competent director behind it because I like Ben Wheatley. I think Ben Wheatley's pretty interesting as a
What else has he
filmmaker.
done?
He did Kill List,
Free Fire?
he did Free Fire, which I'm not too hot on. I don't like
No.
Free Fire very much, but he did High Rise, which I really like as well.
Oh, is that's the Dwayne Johnson one, right?
No, it's Tom Hiddleston. And,
Dwayne-
I was thinking of Skyscraper.
What's the one with Dwayne Johnson where he's in the tall building and it's on fire?
Skyscraper.
Oh, Skyscraper. That's
Yeah,
why I got
also-
confused.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Skyscraper is ass.
I was like, does Leon like Skyscraper? Interesting choice.
Skyscraper is so ass.
I haven't seen it, but I does not look good.
See you, Delboy.
Yeah, no worries, Delboy. Thanks so much for
Apologies for my bad taste in jokes, clearly.
I might have to come back for this for Leon, but I have to express my disappointment, Winslow. I have to agree with this comment.
Oh, that's not fair.
I'm so disappointed that Josh hated Showgirls. Like, it's legitimately like a top 10 movie of all time for me, and Josh hates it.
Well, Elizabeth, whatever her name was,
Berkeley.
was Hurley.
Berkeley.
Okay. Berkeley University. She was not very good. Like the whole fries bit at the middle in the beginning,
so
where she's
fun.
practically shaking the fucking fries.
It's so fun. It's so.
What I missed.
We're talking about Showgirls and why.
Elizabeth Berkeley University shaking fries in the beginning of the Showgirls.
So this is what Verhoeven has said about it, about the whole, like, the style, everything about Showgirls, is that it's not meant to just be like an utter camp fest of just like, this is ridiculous and there's no reason for it, it's just fun, but like the style of it is, you know, it's there's truth in it, in every little like thing, but it's extremely exaggerated because that's what Vegas is, that's what American kind of capitalist excess is, you know, and he needed the style to match like what the film kind of is about, and on that level, for me, I think it works really well.
I really want to rewatch it. I'm waiting for my Vinegar Syndrome order to dispatch. It still hasn't been dispatched. I'm just waiting.
It's been like weeks, right?
Yeah, I ordered that like early last month, like when they had a sale. They said they hope to have all their like sale orders shipped out by August, and it's now August.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? But to give Vinegar Syndrome credit, when they do dispatch stuff, it's super fast. Like if they shipped it out, say they shipped it out tomorrow, it'd probably be in the UK by Friday. They're so quick with their shipping. So I don't mind because I know they get an influx of orders and they're kind of a small company, but just come on, guys, ship my order, please. Thank you. I want to watch Showgirls. Showgirls is fun. I love Showgirls. I'm very much in the middle right now. Like I'm not like a 10 out of 10, but I'm not like a 2 out of 10 like Josh. I'm like firmly in a 6 out of 10 camp right now, but I feel like it'll go up on a rewatch.
That's fair. And I I guess I should tell the audience like our plans for the future, perhaps, because this like
maybe we should
Showgirls a little bit. So we have been talking in our group chat about starting a podcast soon, and I don't know exactly which platforms we would upload this to. Maybe some on YouTube. Maybe we would upload it to like Spotify or something as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, where we just talk about probably like a double feature of movies. And Showgirls is one that we've talked about doing.
I think I want it to be the first, but if they take a while, we could always choose something else and then do Showgirls in the future or something. But yeah, I
could like send you my MGM Blu-ray of it, which isn't great, but I bet you it'll get there faster than the Vinegar Syndrome one.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm excited to check out the 4K. Like I really hope it's good because I've heard good things. But we've got a few ideas for like the name of the podcast, but we won't say anything yet. Jackson had a really, really good idea for it. Which
I've forgotten it already.
I feel like we're still brainstorming it. Like I like the idea, but I'm like there's other ones I feel like we could come up with, but if it's that one, I think we'll be satisfied.
I've got one that I'm going to come up with on the spot right now. I'm just going to wing it to you guys. So we're going to be discussing stuff. So why don't we call it Shirtless Hot Naval Chat?
Because oh my gosh, you changed it back that fast? It was something else recently. Wow.
It was Phoebe Bridges.
Yeah.
And then I changed it to that. Like they pointed out on Mike's stream, they weren't happy with me with that, so I changed it. And that's probably why I'm not going to be invited back now.
We will discuss that after the name, because that's an interesting choice.
I got one PG Flicks.
Jake says I'm good, thanks, Mike. Winslow says, Josh, have you seen After Sun on the big screen? I saw it twice in cinemas.
I was pissed I didn't. Here's the thing.
Okay.
I booked it. Something came up, but I booked it again, and then I realized it was one of those ones where it's like 90-year-old people going with their tea and coffees, and I wouldn't be allowed in. It's a silver cinema thing.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
you know what Odeon does, Leon? The silver cinema thing.
Just do like what is it? Bad grandpa prosthetic effects. Just pretend to be like Johnny Knoxville.
Because I don't. Because if I booked it, surely I'd be able to get in. But I didn't want to be a 20-year-old in the middle of 817-year-olds. You know, it'll be very
82-year-olds watching After Sun. They're like, I like this movie.
I went back in my day. I went on holiday as well.
It reminds me of this episode of Half in the Bag on Red Letter Media where Jay is talking. I forget what he's talking about, but he's like, "Oh, is this one of those movies that you're at your family reunion and your grandpa goes, I saw this movie on TNT the other afternoon." Like,
when you mentioned Red Letter Media and old people, I just thought of a clip of Mike losing his shit at that old lady talking. You know which one I'm on.
Oh, yeah.
Please,
I want to see that.
You should get the screen sharing thing up, and we should show Josh that clip if you know which one I'm on about.
Okay.
I'm going for a piss first because.
Okay, let me
Enjoy Simu. Enjoy Simu.
Mike laughing at old people. That's like the thing that comes up.
It's like a 40-second clip, I'm pretty sure. I'm just
Okay,
like,
I've got it pulled up. I'll just wait for Josh to get back.
Okay. This clip is one of my favorite things in the world.
But Jake has an amazing comment as well. Hold on, Moneypenny. I just have an issue. Okay, so funny thing about Moneypenny. Okay, so she is in all of the early Connery ones, if I'm right, and then she's in, I'm pretty sure she's in On Her Majesty's Secret Service as well, which is the first one without Connery. And all the Connery ones, they have the Bond and Moneypenny have this really weird, like inappropriate, but also kind of cute, like office flirtation thing. Where like there's sometimes where like Connery is like coming on way too strong and stuff, and then other times it's just really cute. And then she watches, spoiler alert, Bond get married on Her Majesty's Secret Service. And then I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end of the film, but then in Diamonds Are Forever, the first one with Connery, she's like, they don't have that dynamic at all. Like they're not really like, she's out doing field work or something. Like they completely changed the role for her, even though that they're completely trying to go back to basics. That's really, that one, it's a really weird film.
No, what I find funny is that Inspector, he lays pipe to like 3 different women for no fucking reason at all.
Like who?
It's like the only Craig movie where they really let him do that, right?
Yeah, he has sex with this French woman. He had sex with Léa Seydoux, and then he also has sex with another one. It's like, is this softcore porn for Bond? For like action nerds?
Oh, well, you haven't seen some of the older ones. Like, it's very true to the series. Like,
it's sad, right? I went to the Spectre opening day, or opening night, and at my cinema they had a red carpet. All of the people were dressed in dappy little tuxes. They had posters on all the seats and everything. It was a big thing. I fell asleep for an hour and 45 minutes of it. I woke up when a helicopter was crashing. I was like, because it was loud.
Spectre, the Dave Bautista one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where he gets pushed out.
Great in it. Yeah, like
because he doesn't speak.
I wish he was in it more. I like Dave Bautista as an actor.
Yeah.
I
can pull up the Red Letter Media clip.
Oh yes.
Let me. All right.
Josh, have you seen much Red Letter Media?
No, I haven't seen it.
They're so good.
So for context, Mike, who's like,
oh,
Mike. How about we just say no context and just play it?
Okay. Yes.
Obstructive pulmonary disorder.
That's just a lady.
Yes, Mike, that's a woman. Emphysema, bronchitis.
What's so funny about her?
It's the inhalers that were full of steroids.
I think there's something wrong with you.
Chronic obstructive.
What are you even laughing at? The background?
No, things that are wrong with her.
What?
All the things wrong with her.
I thought you were laughing at the bad backdrop.
No.
Am I missing something? I think.
This woman's like listing all of these illnesses she has, and then Mike's
And Mike just laughing at it,
Uh,
because he kind of hates old people. It's like an ongoing joke that he just finds like old people being hurt very funny in film.
but he also plays the character of Mr. Plinkett, who is like, according to the lore, like 150 years old, something like that, because he was on the Titanic.
I love Plinkett. He's great. You need to get into Red Letter Media, Josh. You'd probably love them. Like, I genuinely think you'd love them.
They're fantastic. They're honestly some of the best YouTubers to ever do it. Like, really.
Yeah, like 100%.
Are they these motherfuckers who thinks the Snyder Cut is like a masterpiece or anything?
No.
No, they found Snyder Cut fine, but if you want to watch a fun video, watch their BBS video. It's one of the greatest videos.
So they're not these people who just think that superhero films are like staples.
No.
Like a lot of the bigger people.
Their BBS and Man of Steel reviews are so scathing. Like they fucking hated BBS.
They hated Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I was quite happy about. Like,
that's a really funny video. that the Ghostbusters Afterlife video is really fun. I don't know that they don't really like. I don't want to say they don't fit in with the crowd, but they're just as tired of this like Hollywood schlock and slop, should I say, as like
schlock.
We are. We like schlock around here.
Yeah, we like schlock. Red Letter Media do have some base takes though, because they like Matrix. They love Matrix Resurrections and Halloween Ends. So the guys are great.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like him then.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Watch the videos, please. I'm gonna show you a Red Letter Media video next time we call.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I didn't know Joe Dante has a podcast. I have to check
Does he?
that. Movies that made us.
Is it called Cleaning Up on Aisle 9 or something? Sorry.
Josh.
No wonder why I'm not allowed on any fucking streams anymore. God damn! I can't shut my mouth.
Fuck's sake, John! Why'd you do this?
John? Fuck is John?
John Landis. John Landis.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, now I can see why I'm not allowed on streams anymore.
New question, please.
Okay.
That should be the podcast name.
When's our sex with Norm, though? That is important.
We love Norm. Have you ever seen Dirty Work, like Norm's film?
No, I haven't.
You should watch that. It's a really, really kind of like a Adam Sandler-esque comedy with Norm as the lead, but because Norm's in the lead, it's really funny because he doesn't really give a shit about anything that's going on. There's no real like character progression or sense of structure to the film, and it's kind of like a shitpost film. It's
also kind of like Freddy Got Fingered a little bit, like
a little bit, but it's
not like the extreme example.
Yeah. It's humor, but it's very funny, and it has probably one of my favorite like final lines of dialogue in any film ever. Genuinely, it's so funny. Norm was great. R.I.P. Brady keeps telling me about how you know those like Comedy Central roasts, where they get like a famous celebrity and like roast them.
Yeah.
Apparently, Norm was on like the Bob Saget one once, and you had all these people like making really hardcore, like edgy jokes and everything. And apparently, Norm came out on stage and started telling jokes for like elderly people and stuff. Like, he just brought out a joke book for like very funny jokes that old people will find funny, and they didn't land with the crowd whatsoever. And there's like clips of it online of him just telling like really bad knock jokes. But
I actually love in the Bob Saget one. I love Gilbert Gottfried's bit about how he basically like makes up a story about how Bob Saget raped and killed somebody in 1990.
I love Gilbert so much.
It's not true that Bob Saget.
I'm pissing and shitting and coming and. I love that video.
And he passed away last year as well, man. Rest
all of the good people just keep dropping like flies. It's sad. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Jake says melting in Pollock yogurt.
What?
What?
Fuck.
What is this in relation to? I'm very confused.
Next episode, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. Winslow says World's End is my least favorite of the trilogy, but it's filmed near where I live, and they filmed in a cinema I've been to. Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it seems like it would capture kind of that. It's a little bit more like actually like Shaun of the Dead. It's a bit more like suburban, whereas Hot Fuzz takes place in like a smaller town. Winslow says also was the first 15 rated film I saw in the cinema. Big deal for me. At the time, I hated missing out on films. Yeah.
Oh, I was sad.
Go on, you first, Josh.
The first 15 I saw was fucking Deadpool 2, and I was very excited. Big mistake on my end, I think.
I like the shades. When did you put the shades on, Josh? I just realized.
I've gone incognito now because.
Okay.
Because I
got a really embarrassing story for mine. I don't know how I got away with this. I must have been like 11 or 12 years old when I saw my first 15 film in a cinema. I snuck in and somehow convinced them I was 15. I don't fucking know how this worked, but it was for the worst fucking film I could have snuck in for. Are you aware of like I wish it was Scare. It was like the 2010-11 comedy Bad Teacher with Cameron Diaz.
Oh,
so fucking like
with Gibby from my colleague.
Maybe I don't remember a thing about that film, but I just remember getting in like super young, and I was like, why did that have to be my first 15? I was like, God damn it!
Big mistake there, buddy.
Yeah. What was the first like 15 or like R-rated film or something you saw?
15, is that equivalent to R-rated? Because you guys also have 18, right?
Yeah. 15 and 18 kind of go hand in hand. Like Deadpool over here is a 15, but then like Inglourious Bastards is like an 18. So it's like
it kind of melts together.
Yeah. So,
okay.
What's the first like R-rated thing you ever saw?
Well, the first R-rated thing I ever saw was My Cousin Vinny, but I watched that at home, not in the cinema.
Okay.
It's really only rated R. There might be a mild sex scene in it, but I think it's mainly just the lots of cursing in it. It's a very funny. Yeah, it was very funny for me at the time.
There's not much wrong with it, apart from the fact that they say fuck all the time. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember the film that much, but I remember this one line. Basically, it's like the night before the big trial or whatever. And the lawyer's girlfriend or something says like, she's like, "You're gonna do great." And then right when they turn the lights off, she goes like, "As long as you don't fuck up" or whatever. And I thought that was the funniest thing when I was a little kid. As far as R-rated in the theaters, I don't remember. I'd have to think about that because not really sure.
Yeah, I distinctly remember Bad Teacher being right, and I wish it wasn't. Like,
I'm pretty sure Oh no, I might have a similar answer then. I'm pretty sure I saw The Dictator in theaters. It's such a Baron Cohen movie. Yeah. I've also since seen the. Have either of you guys seen the unrated cut of that movie?
No.
I believe that's the only version I've seen, but I don't remember anything about it.
There's a scene that's not in the R-rated version where this woman who's like trying to track down Admiral General Aladdin or whatever. She has like massive like watermelon-sized boobs, and she keeps like hitting them. She uses them as like weapons. Like it's what you would expect out of a Sacha Baron Cohen movie, and I don't know. It's like I think that's probably the worst film I've seen from him. Like I think I like Grimsby more than that one.
No, I don't like Grimsby or
Grimsby.
Okay, Grimsby has the elephant scene.
Oh, fucking elephant.
But he got
scene.
fingers got a better elephant scene than that.
That's true. That is true.
I might have to revisit Grimsby because I also hated Freddy the first time I saw that film, and now I like.
Yeah, I
it.
do.
Maybe I'll find some fun out of Grimsby.
Grimsby's too like studio comp. Well, like it's not as like self-aware or like satirical. It's just doing those gross out gags and going really far with it. But like
the only reason I watch Freddy is because one of my friends is obsessed with the guy who plays Freddy from American Pie. She's fucking obsessed with him. It's kind of weird. So she made me sit through it, and I was like, "What have you made me sit through?" And even she said it was bad, yet she gave it a 5 on Letterboxd because she always does that.
It's amazing. It's a 5-star film.
No, but she gives every film a 5-star, even if it's terrible.
I mean, so do I. Kind of, not really. Like, maybe.
Winslow, because we were talking earlier about films about addiction. He says
Oslo, yes.
Oslo. Have you seen that, Josh?
I know of it. It's Joachim Trier. It's basically in the same
trilogy. It's
thing.
like this Oslo trilogy.
Yeah, the Oslo trilogy. So Worst Person in the World. The other one I'm forgetting, and then you've also got Oslo 31st, which I want to see. It's on Mubi.
I need to see Worst Person still.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's very good.
I really want to check it out.
It's my heart, man.
There are some aspects to the like surrealism in it that I think it's a little too literal and not the best thing I've ever seen. But like I did really enjoy it when I saw it in theaters. I really connected to the kind of central story.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out at some point. I really do want to see it.
Some of those lines, man, they make me cry even just reading them. They're really hard to listen to.
He also says that he personally would have given Austin Butler the Oscar and Blanchett too. Yeah, Blanchett for Tar. Yeah, kind of insane.
Austin Butler.
Austin's fun. I'm sorry, he is fun. He kind of I don't know if I'd say he deserved it, but I wouldn't have been upset if he got it because I think it's a really, really fun performance.
Paul Mescal should have got it. Sorry.
Paul Mescal, yeah. I agree with you. Paul Mescal should have got it, but I would have really loved if Colin got it for Banshees because I love Banshees.
Oh, true, yeah.
Who was the fifth one?
Brenda.
Oh no! I always
Bill Nye for Living. That
fuck that. Yeah.
Remake of
Akira. I heard that's really good actually. But Living.
He was it was a good movie, but it was like, what did he do exactly except be like,
he's old.
I'm a bit sick. Like
it's like Gary Oldman in Darkest Hour. It's the old man performance.
Gary Oldman in Darkest Hour is legitimately like one of the worst performances I think I've seen in a movie, and he won an Oscar for it. Like
I haven't even seen that movie.
I mean, it's only the second worst film in recent memory where a man's dressed up in a fat suit and won an Oscar for it.
Quite a few of them.
You know, Leon, you haven't seen it yet, but Oppenheimer, Gary Oldman's in Oppenheimer, and he has a very similar role to what he does in Darkest Hour, but it actually works more.
Is he Churchill?
No, he's not Churchill. He's Harry Truman.
Okay.
And he has a evil scene as Truman. Like he
does. It's despicable what he says.
I'm really excited. I really want to see it in IMAX, but like it's sold out everywhere near me.
Oh yeah, mine was completely sold out yesterday, basically. Yeah.
I'm glad it's doing so well, though. I'm glad.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll check it out at some point. I really do want to see it in the theater, though.
Yeah.
We've got 120 days, I think, or 100 days.
Rachel getting married from Demi is an Interstellar.
Please don't mention Demi anymore.
It's Stellar, not Interstellar. Look at the attitude. Not comparable to Requiem. Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Right.
I like Train Spotting. I like Abel Ferrara's The Addiction. I really like the idea of like addiction to
great.
vampire
He's
movies.
back.
Yeah, but
I'm trying to think of good addiction films.
know.
Frank Henlotter's Brain Damage.
I really want to see that. Yeah.
Uncut Gems in a
fun
way.
one.
Uncut
Yeah,
Gems.
Uncut
that's
Gems,
like a
even though
spending addiction.
it's not like a substance addiction, but yeah.
No, but it's like an addiction
yeah,
to hierarchy power, kind of.
Yeah, for sure.
Fear and Loathing. Fear and Loathing's so fun.
Mississippi Grind.
Josh wasn't a fan of Goodfellas, and I almost cried. You don't like Goodfellas, Josh?
I gave it a 7. What are you talking about?
Okay,
Like, to
Yeah, I
be
gave it
fair,
that's like what I'd give it. To be fair,
I also give
Yeah, there you
Goodfellas
go.
a 7, and
Yeah.
this might be a hot take, but it is like kind of lower tier Scorsese for me.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Uh,
not
I
a.
think-
It's not a 787 out of 10 like a lot of people think it is.
Yeah, I've watched a
um,
film like 3 times, and I think it's really, really good. But I just think there's better Scorsese out there. I think it's kind of like a very safe pick. But like, if you show it to like your mom or dad or something, they'll probably absolutely love it. But I just think Scorsese's made more interesting things. But I
My dad
totally
don't.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's a perfect dad movie. It's like
a total
yeah,
dad movie. Yeah.
He found it too brutal.
really.
That and Casino. He was talking about Casino
wanna
the other
see
week, and he
Your
was like,
dad- okay, your dad has the most dad top 4 ever. It's like Shawshank, The Dark Knight, Goodfellas,
"Yeah, because he's a fucking nerd."
Die Hard in there.
Die Hard. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. He's a fucking nerd. That's
I love that the only people he's following on Letterboxd are Josh and me for some reason.
I made him follow you. He didn't know how to do it. Here he is.
There you go.
Good old rat ass. Not calling his dad rat ass. That's his Letterboxd name.
Here's his hidden strike review. Didn't think O would enjoy this, but I did. Jackie the Legend Cham. John John Monkey Lips Cena. Good chemistry. One of the most. He thinks he's got like big lips.
Jackie the Legend Cham.
Yeah, and John Monkey
My
Lips
favorite
Cena.
Jackie Chan. Yep.
One of the most stupid fight scenes, including Jackie Cham, I've seen. Proper love.
Why does he keep saying Cham?
Well, okay, the other thing is he says he hates this movie and he gave it like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, didn't you mention that he gave it a 7, but then when you asked him about it, he was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a 1 out of 10 or something.
No, before he got literally like an hour through it, and then he was like, "It's shit," and then he gave it a 7 in the end.
I love your dad. He's great.
Yeah, the Covenant, Guy Ritchie moment.
I bet he liked that.
That
Did he
sounds
like
like a dad movie. I haven't seen it yet though, but it does sound like it.
It does. You
Yeah,
know what
although it has a Guy Ritchie moment in it, I thought I would enjoyed it. He said,
Jackson, I got a film recommendation for you, and it'll probably be on Prime.
Okay.
You should watch Guy Ritchie's Wrath of Man. I think you would
Oh,
really like
wow.
it.
"Oh, I need to see that one."
I do want to see that.
It's so vile and kind of I don't
Post
wanna say
Malone's in it.
vile. Post Malone is in it for like one scene. But
I've
it's
heard that somebody tells Post Malone to like suck his own dick, basically.
yes,
Yeah.
that does happen. It's kind of like Guy Ritchie making like a Michael Mann film, which is really weird, but I kind of like it. I think it's very bizarre. Like Jason Statham plays a character whose name is just the letter H,
Mhm.
which is kind of great. I don't know. It's really
It
good.
seems like Walter Hill pulp stuff, like
Yes.
like
Yeah.
you know how like it's just Driver. Same with like
Yeah.
Drive, but yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh my
reckon you
God.
like it. I think it's like genuinely like top 3 Statham performances I've ever seen. Like I fucking love Statham in that.
Crank
film.
is number one.
good.
Come on.
Crank and Crank 2 are number 1 and 2. They're so good. But yeah, what?
I forgot about this.
Oh god.
Sorry. My dad watched a film called Black Demon, right? The shark one.
Oh yeah.
He's telling us.
He
about
was- He reviewed some fucking Russian film no one's seen, thinking it was that.
Oh, that's awesome.
it.
And he hasn't even deleted the review, and he did the other one.
That's great.
Dumbass.
Jake says I'll get involved with the podcast. Yeah, just hit us up.
Yeah. If
You will figure it out.
An episode or something, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Get you as a guest
As a
on one
guest,
of the
for sure.
episodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, I saw Ninja Turtles yesterday. Actually, really good, but not in a game changer. Definitely geared more towards kids. Yeah, it kind of
What
looks.
do you think
like
it's PG?
It is. Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah. It looks like kind of the animation is very like Spider-Verse, but a little bit darker, with more
Yeah.
kind of gritty textures. But I'm
Yeah.
not
kind of-
really a TMNT fan, so I'm not probably gonna check it out. But I mean, it sounds cool.
You ever seen the '90s TMNT?
Nope.
I'm recommending it for the podcast. I'm not even a huge
I want to
film
watch
guy,
it.
but '90s TMNT is like one of the most sincere films I've ever watched in my entire life. It's so great, and it's also edited by Sally Menke, who's Tarantino's editor, who like
Oh,
passed
wow.
away after Death Row.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of amazing.
Holy God!
Also, the puppetry and costumes are done by the Jim Henson Company, so they look fucking great.
Cool.
That first TMNT film kind of has aged so remarkably. It's very goofy and it's like it's kind of dumb, but I really love the look of it. I think it's like genuinely kind of a gorgeous film and depicts New York in a really like kind of just gross
Grimy.
Yeah, it's like really grimy. Like TMNT kind of rocks. I'm sorry, like a 90s film, but
Cowabunga, dude.
TMNT 2 kind of sucks. It's not very good.
Is that the one with the Vanilla Ice song?
Yes, go ninja, go.
Yo,
The classic.
What's the Vanilla Ice movie that's just called Ice something?
Cool as ice or
Cool as Ice. I think that's what it is.
I really want to watch that. It sounds so funny.
He also says, Josh, what is your profile?
That
I'm assuming
something
Letterboxd?
you don't understand.
What?
Something you're too young to watch.
Oh, that, yes. Simulu.
Something your little precious eyes won't understand, buddy.
Shirtless hot babes. I need to go see how many people.
So many
Did they
people.
get taken off of YouTube?
Yeah,
They unlisted it. If you've got the link, you can still watch it, but it's been unlisted. I can't believe it. What have I done?
I've stored it. I've downloaded it on my computer.
Good. 211 people have now seen it.
And it's trending on Twitter at one point, I think.
What? No.
I think it said Simu shirtless or something at one point. I was like, what? What?
Your vinegarsyndrome.com order has shipped.
Oh, there we go. Okay, cool.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that Simu saw it. I would have been like...
I thought you were going to say
excited.
Vinegar Syndrome has decided to release shirtless hot navel stab.
I wish. Oh no, I've been waiting for that.
I honestly wouldn't put it past him. Like,
Criterion need to make one.
We need a 4K release of all that guy's like shirtless hot navel stab films of all the different actors.
Yeah.
But we need the Simu Liu one on like a 4K disc with Dolby Vision, HDR, all of that good stuff. Dolby Atmos mix for like the stab of a retractable knife, and it's
It'd be
just
too
like
expensive.
3D audio. No. They can finance it. It would make its money back.
They should do like they should put it on the Barbie special features. Like just put shirtless hot navel stab there. People
God.
I see so many people talking about it on Twitter right now in Simu's replies. It's very funny.
Shirtless hot navel stab is like the funniest thing in the world.
All those who don't feel loved, watch this.
We're not gonna watch it on stream. But
one day.
One day.
We can recommend it
Jake,
for the podcast.
Jake also says clean up aisle 9.
Yarp. Oh, dude,
Please no. Please don't remind me of my sinful act. Please.
Have you ever seen Norm on The View talking about Bill Clinton, where they were trying to move him on and he just wouldn't give up? I don't think I have seen that clip actually.
That's
great,
funny. I love Norm so much.
Gibby.
Timberlake and Diaz dry hump odd scene.
Oh, I think
Yep.
that's
For Bad Teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Difference is you couldn't. Oh,
I
for
think that's
18
for
you
15
can't.
and
Okay.
15, yeah.
Gotcha. So So I would say maybe the difference is like because in America we technically have NC-17, but like
Yeah.
you cannot
Only
release an
that's only
NC-17.
reserved for blonde. Okay, that's only reserved for that.
Well, and that went straight to Netflix, right? So it's that couldn't have really been released in theaters in any really wide capacity because it would tank. Like
I think that was
it's
only
like it's not-
NC-17.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's just not a respectable rating over here. Whereas like the 18 in the UK is like, yeah, it's whatever. Like it's
so
like X I saw over there, that was an 18, and
yeah,
that's
X is an
totally normal.
18. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find like so for example, I gotta be very careful not to go too crazy, but like Solo here, that's an 18.
Oh my god.
Even though I think that's like rated R in the States, but something like Cure's just a 15 over here, even though that's also like an R rating in the States. I'm pretty sure. Cure
Why is Solo only an 18?
Yeah, and then also House is like a 15 over here, which is weird.
Howsu.
Howsu is the same rating as Deadpool. Like that makes no sense to me. It's really bizarre.
That's funny.
The UK.
Well, I love how just like over time it's changed so much in the US. Like it's really funny that like because almost basically every kids movie nowadays, like I don't really see stuff that's rated G anymore. Like all the Pixar stuff is PG, which is insane.
Same here. Because like back in the day, everything was like a U over here, but now it's more like
Either that was always getting banned for having a trans guy in it or something.
Yeah,
I think the PG thing is just to kind of like it sounds really stupid, but to kind of make it more appealing, so it's not like, oh, this is a baby film. I think that genuinely is just it. It's like this PG rating is like
this is a film for babies.
Like, and I'm not even like it sounds so stupid to say that because that's obviously not what I'd think, but I just think like maybe to kids it's more appealing to have a PG instead of like a U or a G rating. Maybe it's about I don't know what is going on.
Some stuff like that is I don't really know because like there's some stuff that isn't really troubling but definitely has some like dramatic kind of sad bits that would get a U. Like for example, I heard that Celine Sciamma's Petite Maman, which I've seen is that's a U. That's a U, which is really interesting because it's kind of a sad drama. Like it's
You know, Darkest Hour's a PG over her. Like, imagine a kid walking into Darkest Hour. He's like, I really want to watch this movie. It's like, oh yeah.
You just got Gary Oldman going, I want to be in the trenches.
if I was seeing Darkest Hour, I would be way more entertained by kids being like, Mommy, Daddy, can we leave now? Than I would by watching Darkest Hour.
All the kids go to see Lily James. That's it. That's the only reason
One of the fascinating things is Isle of Dogs was rated like a PG-13 in the States, but it's a PG over here, which I think is really interesting. Because I don't think there's any content in that film that doesn't justify a PG rating. But like,
it's just the themes.
Yeah. Is Mothra PG? I can't remember if Mothra. But let's see. Like I feel like
Jake
it is.
Says, by the way, that Josh is giving me old blind woman vibes from Deadpool 2 with those shades on.
Nice.
Well, I might be. Well, I'm going blind anyway. Practically, my eyes are that shit. I might as well be.
Megan. Oh, you know, from The Dictator. Yeah, that's the scene where
Megan. You now have herpes.
Yeah, it's the scene where he's having sex with Megan Fox early on.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Who hasn't
cameo in that? Yeah.
I'm trying to think about the weird age rating films now. Like, I'm just curious on like weird age rating differences.
Well,
like,
I was saying as well about the G rated stuff, or sorry, the stuff that's PG now, like the Pixar films, and then the stuff that like Temple of Doom was PG when it came out. That was one of the ones that started to change it, but it's still rated PG, which I just love.
A big recent one is After Sun's a 12 over here, but it's like rated R in the States just because some characters say fuck more than like twice or something, which is like so stupid.
That's one of the characters. It's like a game or something.
That's such an American thing. Like we're so like puritanical about curse words over here.
King's Speech or whatever, like that was like a big one. And I don't know, it's so bizarre to me. Like for me, a really weird one is have you seen Another Round?
Yeah, I love
it. Oh yes,
that's probably my favorite movie of 2020.
Yeah, that's a 12 over here. And it's like rated R in the States. And they say fuck like about 7 times in that film. And the song at the end has the word fuck playing like 4 times as well.
In
but-
I don't know
English,
why
they're
it's a
like,
12
The
here.
rest of the
Yeah.
fucks are in Danish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just nuts to me that got a 12, especially given the subject matter. But I don't think there's anything in it that like justifies. Like, I was just very surprised because that film has a sex scene, it has people saying fuck, and it's also about like consumption of alcohol. And they were like, "That's a 12."
Yeah.
Like, I don't
You
know.
can
the
take
thing-
your 12-year-old brother to this. That's fine.
Yeah,
Kind of
I
thing.
do love Another Round though. That film.
Oh, I
yeah.
do.
Actually, speaking of films about addiction, I mean, it's not as like serious of an addiction in terms of like how there's like the severity of it, but I love the portrayal of
is-
alcohol, and it's such a complicated thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You
definitely.
do get that toward the end, though. I think.
Oh
When
no, that's the thing.
tragedy occurs,
It is
but-
no, it absolutely is an addiction in the film, but it's just not as intense as something like Train
Because they take
Spotting.
it too far.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Angus Cloud thing broke me yesterday, man. Like Leon was on call with me,
Yeah, that
and I was
was
yeah.
like,
That's brutal.
I was on the verge of crying because that's like really.
Oh, sorry, I totally skipped that. I thought we were on to the next one.
Yeah, Angus Cloud from Euphoria, 25, man.
Yeah,
That's really sad. Yeah.
I told Sadie about that on call, and she kind of just started crying as well. It's like such shocking news. Like you don't expect to hear something like
And
that.
today I'm seeing Zendaya post about it, and it's making me even more sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What she's been saying how great of a person he was, and it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes me sad. Like, broke me.
Winslow's also saying that he agrees with Paul Mescal for best actor.
Yeah, because the Academy are fucking boring. They don't like good performances. Clearly,
are amazing.
they like
I kind of-
performances where people practically try and kill themselves for a role. Look at George Clooney. Look at fucking Brendan Fraser. Look
What
at
did George
Joker.
Clooney for?
George Clooney?
Yeah, for what was it, Syriana, where he practically died. He got knocked over in a chair.
What?
Would
No,
that kill you?
He practically. Here's the problem. He played this reporter who goes to Syria or something. He gets kidnapped, and he's like tied up, and then they throw him on the ground, and then he broke his ribs. He had a brain problem, and he got an Oscar for it clearly because they were just like, "Oh, we nearly died. Let's just give it to him. Fuck it."
I don't know why I laugh at things.
It's just the way I said it. He got thrown on the ground on a chair. Like, it don't sound very.
It's like when you were
Performance.
explaining the Taxi Hunter, like the pregnant wife dies, right? Like
It's not me. The movie about gardening.
I'm just turning more and more into Mike on a daily basis.
like,
I'm turning into Neon very slowly. A kick streamer who just
Ugh.
doesn't care.
so you're
about
turning
it.
into Neo from the Matrix. That's what you look like right now.
Yeah, you got the shades and everything.
But like Matrix Reloaded Neo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
not the
thanks.
one where he's super
Not
powered.
good one then. Not good
See?
Neon.
Well, because in the first Matrix, he doesn't have the glasses on for most of it.
Yeah.
Nye is good in living. I really want to check that out. Actually, I've heard really good things. I want to
wanna
see
see the
Akiru
original.
first. Is the problem?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to see.
He's
more
good in
Kurosawa.
living.
I've got like a Kurosawa EFI collection,
What
which
does it have?
has Seven Samurai, Throne of Blood, Hidden Fortress, Yojimbo, and Sanjuro, and I also have the Rashomon BFI release. I've only seen Rashomon, and I fucking love that film.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's great. But
wanna
I've never
see
seen
Run.
any of those. I've
only
got
seen
Ran
Run?
as well.
Run?
Yeah, I think it's Ran.
I've got that
and
back here.
also got.
I've got the BFI 13.
Do you have High and Low,
somewhere.
Leon?
I don't know.
That's my
It
favorite
Dreams
one that
as
I've
well.
seen. You should get that one. Yeah.
Dreams
I
on Criterion?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the one that I was
Dreams.
looking for. Yeah, I've got Dreams as well, which I want to check out. I've heard that's great.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to check out more Kurosawa, both Kurosawas, because they're
Yes.
both really interesting.
Unrelated. I thought they were related for the longest time. They are not. It's just a very common last name in Japan, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting, not interstellar. Yeah. Steve McQueen's Shame for addiction movies. Yeah, that's like a
Yeah.
sex addiction,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite. I love that movie for some reason. It's just so dirty. But Michael
I
Fassbender.
love that movie. It's so dirty.
No, it's just really fucking grim. Like, there's one scene toward the end where it's just like, fuck me, Michael Fassbender. I'm surprised you haven't been shot yet for what you just did. But he is so good in that movie.
I love McQueen's Hunger. I think Hunger is amazing.
They weren't going to nominate him for Shame because he likes to come, and the Academy don't like shit like that. So they weren't going to give him an Oscar.
No Beau is Afraid nominations, I guess.
Oh,
very sad.
There's a Jewish man who likes to come, so definitely not.
The only Steve McQueen movie I've seen is still 12 Years a Slave, but
12 Years a Slave is
I love
great.
it so much.
Watch Widows.
Yeah,
Widows is
Widows.
great. Yeah,
and Hunger, I really want to check out too.
Small Axe is really cool as well. I don't like every Small Axe short, but there's like 3 of them. That are
Red, White, and Blue.
Yeah, there's some really good ones in there. But yeah, no, Steve McQueen's great. I need to see Shame. I've seen like parts of Shame, but I've never like fully finished a film. But I liked what I'd seen of it, so I need to like fully give that a watch at some point.
Yeah,
but that was an NC-17, wasn't it? Like,
I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Yeah, from what I heard about it.
Yeah, because I think that was like a big deal because I think Fox Searchlight released it in the States, so it was like a.
You make me want to watch it again.
Go ahead.
But fun fact: Steve McQueen was filming his newest film 20 minutes down the road from me.
Oh, nice.
With Saoirse Ronan. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I like her. Yeah. This is when we were talking about Goodfellas. Lower tier. I'm gonna jump off London Bridge now.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No. I mean, my favorite Scorsese is After Hours, which I've reviewed 3 times today now on 3 different places.
That's awesome. I need to check out your review later, but I don't know. Is it full spoilers? Because I haven't.
No. I don't spoil much. I give away like very early on things, like early like 20 minutes type thing, but I don't spoil the film.
It was a great video. It was great. Really loved it.
Thank you, Josh. I just kind of break down, like I talk about the film for about 8 minutes, and then the rest of it's just dedicated to how the 4K looks and everything, and the extras. Yeah. Very happy with that. I was kind of a bit bummed out that like I just uploaded like a really lazy TikTok and it got so many views so quickly. I'm like, never used TikTok. Yeah, I posted a TikTok and within 20 minutes it had like 500 views, and I don't know why because I don't have many followers on TikTok, but it for some reason
shit, that's where. What's the account again?
It's just at Leon Talks Film. I don't know.
I'm following you.
Are you following me? Let me follow you.
Yeah, you are following me.
Oh, I am. There you go. I don't follow many
735. It's there now.
Yeah, I don't know why it got so many views, but yeah. After Hours is great. Anyway, love After Hours.
For me, it's the king of comedy, but
it's so good.
Yeah, there's Goodfellas is, don't get me wrong, it's very, very good. Like it's a very strong 4-star movie for me. But it's it's just not one of my personal favorites, I guess.
I hate that people say that Joker's the most original film out there when it's literally just fucking King of Comedy and Taxi Driver combined. I hate it when people say that Joker.
Yeah, like my top 4 is After Hours, Bringing Out the Dead, Taxi Driver, and King of Comedy, but those last 2 are kind of interchangeable because I just love those 2 so much. But Last Temptation's amazing.
I love Last Temptation so much. That's up there for me. Yeah,
that's great.
I've seen a few.
Oh, have you guys seen the trailer for Killers of the Flower Moon yet?
Yes.
I've avoided it because I just kind of want to go in blind.
The trailer's so fun though. It's so well edited. It's well, I don't want to say fun, but it's really it's a great trailer. It's really.
It's not fucking fun, Jackson. Yeah, it's not fun.
No, it's about murder of it's about racist murder, but it's like
it's about murder of an it's about murder of an Osage colony or something.
Yeah.
But I know someone who saw it at what was it, Cannes?
Yeah.
And the thing is you said that he wasn't able to get in, but they literally gave him a fold-out chair to get in and watch it, and he was right at the front, and he was like that for 3.5 hours. He said.
That's funny. Scorsese's great. Like I love him. There's only a few Scorsese films I don't like. Like my big one for me, and this is like the heresy.
I want to know if it's the same one because I have one too.
I don't think it's gonna be the same one, but you go first and I'll tell you if it is.
Okay, mine's Shutter Island.
No, I don't mind Shutter Island, but I don't think it's very good. For me, I don't like The Departed. I've tried to watch it so many times, and I
haven't seen it yet.
So like dull, and it's like it's kind of like I know that was the one he won like Best Director for or something at the Academy Awards, and it felt like let's just give it him. Like, you know how people say like Leo got the Revenant for that when he like it was kind of like a give him the award. Brendan with The Whale, for example.
Okay,
for example of that.
He gets brought up in every fucking convo.
People are amazing. But yeah,
I'm gonna eat a meatball sub like a fat fucking chunk.
I'm just doing the
exactly.
sounds that play like whatever.
I bet he's just got he's got the pizza resting. Like,
oh, dude, I fucking hate The Whale so much.
If Scorsese directed it, would it be better?
I don't know.
I don't think anybody can. I actually.
Tom Ford was gonna make it with James Corden.
That would have been so funny. That would have been very funny. I think the only person who could have made The Whale and actually maybe got away with it, maybe Gaspar Noé, just because Vortex is so great. I'd love to see a Gaspar Noé version of it.
Imagine Sam Levinson making it though. Fuck me.
The thing is, when Gaspar like when I like him. I tend to like him when he gets. I don't know, like I like him when he's a little bit more abstract. Sometimes when he settles on, I have this one idea and I'm gonna execute this idea to like its fullest extent. It doesn't work for me. Like that's what love is for me. Like love.
Did you like Vortex?
Huh?
Did you like Vortex?
I love Vortex, but I think Vortex was more personal to him, and actually for me it does feel a little bit more abstract. Like it feels like a horror movie, even though it isn't.
Yeah,
it feels so claustrophobic, and it's there's lots of layers to it that just weren't there for me in Love. Yeah. I should probably rewatch it, but I borderline hated it when I first watched it.
It's so funny because I was the same way as you two when I first saw Love. I really didn't like it. I didn't connect with it. My old review is pretty scathing of it on there, but on my last viewing, it kind of worked for me after seeing his entire filmography. I was just kind of like, I see what he's going for here, and I like a lot of like. In my memory, I remember it being way more excessive and in your face than it actually is. And I think, not to say that Love is restrained by like any like anyway, but it's
like the most indulgent film I've ever seen, maybe. But
yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just a bit biased because I kind of love the guy now, and at that point, I wasn't like super huge in his on his films, but it worked for me a lot more on a rewatch. So maybe
I love the idea of it. I love the idea of like making a movie about a relationship and actually having explicit sex scenes and like not cutting them at all. I think that's cool. But it wasn't even that stuff that didn't work for me. It just the dialogue was just so like shallow and I need to go back to it. I need to go back to it for sure.
I'd be interested to hear what you think on a rewatch. But yeah, no, I if you watched it again and thought it was like a 2 out of 10 still, I completely get it. It's
it actually it's a 4 out of it's a 2 out of 5 for me. It's there's enough there I can appreciate for it to not be the one. But and Winslow says Goodfellas is top tier. Scorsese for him. Thelma Schoonmaker is one of the best to do it. She's amazing, especially like some of the earlier films, like Taxi Driver for sure. I think she edited that one.
Oh yeah, she's so good. She's on the commentary that's included on After Hours, and it's great. She's really.
The way she edits The Irishman to only feel like 2.5 hours is pretty great.
I think that the funniest thing to me is how Thelma edited The Snowman, and I feel so bad for her because
she didn't.
Yeah, she did.
Oh my fucking lord!
Are you aware of The Snowman, Jackson?
Yeah, and I've also heard it's a movie that was kind of chopped up a little bit. Like it was the intention of it was meant to be different than what the final product was.
The thing with The Snowman is they didn't even film the whole fucking film. Like they shot like about 75% of the script, and they couldn't go back for reshoots. So it's kind of just like most of a film, but it feels almost like incomprehensible because parts are just missing and they never went back to shoot them again. And I feel so bad because Martin was supposed to direct it initially, and then he dropped out. He was executive producer, and I forget the guy's name, but the guy who directed Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and I think one of the Girl with a Dragon Tattoo films, like the
What is his name?
it's like Thomas something. I think.
Oh,
but that
Thomas.
guy-
Thomas.
I want to say, is it like Alfredson or something? Or
Thomas
is it-
Alfredson, I think.
Yeah, I think it might be him who directed it. And yeah, he's just went on in interviews and he's like, yeah, we didn't even film everything we needed. And I'm like, you can tell that is it. The Snowman's frustrating because it's like there's potentially a good film in there, but it just never got like fully completed. And there's
Harry
so
Hole.
the thing is, the lead character's name is called Harry Hole. Like Michael Fassbender plays a character called Harry Hole, which is like a literal interpretation of the novel. But because it's like a Swedish novel, hole isn't actually said like a hole. I think it's got like
Hole.
a
It's
yeah,
hole.
it's like it's a different pronunciation.
Like hole.
But in the American, like, because it's like an American film, they just took it literally.
Detective Harry Hole.
It's so funny.
And he's like a chain smoker or something.
Yeah, he just smokes all the time, and he's got no character whatsoever, and just things happen. Like one of my favorite theatrical experiences I've ever had happened with the Snowman. I've told this story to so many people. I love it. So I went to see it with my friend Adam opening weekend. Like I think it was like the Friday it came out, and no one went to see it because who the fuck was gonna go see the Snowman? So we had the theater practically to ourselves. There was one person behind us, and there was a couple on the right side. So there were like 5 people in total. And halfway through the film, bear in mind, this film is like near incomprehensible just because things happen. They're never brought up again. Nothing's explained. You don't know any motivations behind characters. It is fundamentally a mess. And there's just a part halfway through the film where Michael Fassbender and Rebecca Ferguson start making out despite having no chemistry and never like really talking to each other prior in the film. And this guy behind us just bursts out laughing, and I think the film like destroyed him or something. And then right after that happens, the couple on the right of us start laughing, and then me and my friend Adam started laughing, and just all 5 of us in the theater just collectively laughed at the film for a minute straight.
Oh,
and
that's
then we
awesome.
just went back to the film again, and I was like, I can tell everyone hates this film so much. It's one of the funniest experiences I've ever had, because I think it's the only time where like I've collectively shared a bad experience with like an entire
an audience member. Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. But the Snowman.
I've only done that with like actual friends that I've seen the movie with. Like recently, I was at one of those Wildcard Wednesday events where they kind of show whatever, and they showed that skateboarding movie Grind. And
I think I've heard of Grind.
Yeah, Grind has some of the worst like early 2000s kind of pop rock like needle drops I've ever heard in my life. And I think they're bad, but my friend Cole was like seething. Like every single one, he was like, I fucking hate this movie. And I wonder if it like really annoyed some people around us who were into it, but I don't know.
Did I tell you about my Oppenheimer experience?
Maybe. Which one?
Let me
go ahead. Yeah.
Let me remind you. So, in case you've forgotten, went to see Oppenheimer in IMAX. There was a trailer for A Haunting in Venice. Does it jog your memory? But Haunting in Venice, the new Kenneth Branagh film, right? Everyone was like, "What is this? Looks good." And then Kenneth Branagh showed up, and one guy at the front went, "Ugh," as loud as he could. And everybody just laughed.
I can kind of get behind that, honestly. I don't like Kenneth Branagh very much, but
he's like, there is a haunting in a Venice, or however he says it.
Like Kenneth Branagh with these like really stereotypical accents that he's pulling off.
Did you guys see Death on the Nile?
No, I've not seen any of his
like,
Orient Express films. They seem like Nan movies to me.
I hated it so much. But the thing is, it actually gets a little bit more. It's way too long, and the thing is, like, nothing remotely sinister happens for like an hour. Kind of the same with Glass Onion, actually. Now that I think about it as well, but like. And it's very funny. As soon as Gal Gadot gets killed off, the movie gets much more interesting.
Oh, thanks. I haven't seen it yet. She Was she the main one who?
Oh, sorry, I just
trying to-
realized I spoiled that, but never mind.
Oh,
I don't give a shit. I
no.
watch it anyway.
Yeah.
It's but like I just find it funny how many people who've been cancelled is in that film. You got Army Hammer for obvious reasons.
Yes.
You got Gal Gadot with the whole Imagine thing during COVID. You got Letitia Wright with the anti-vax comments during the Black Panther set. You got Russell
Kenneth
Brand
Branagh
and
for
Dawn
being Kenneth
French.
Branagh. No.
Russell Brand, obviously, and then Dawn French as well. That's like 5 people to name a few. It's
I've just seen like shots of like really ugly like CG backdrops
It's
in that
so
film
bad.
in
I
like
was like-
Egypt or something that
Yes,
looks like
Egypt,
fucking
and like
terrible.
the first the opening is really funny because they basically I shit you not, they do a 10-minute opening where they explain the backstory of the guy's mustache, of Kenneth Branagh's mustache.
oh my
Where they go
god.
back to World
No
War I,
way.
And they explain how he got a scar from the war and the mustache is covering it up or something like that.
Oh, for
And then
No
it's,
way.
and I'm like, oh, is this going like House of Gucci mode? I'm kind of on board with this, but then they
Takes itself
immediately cut
seriously?
to no, where it doesn't take itself seriously.
Oh,
I kind of like
Because House of Gucci for the first hour is great, but
yeah.
but
I hate
like,
House of Gucci.
Oh, it's so fun.
dude, the first hour is so much fun. It's like
Jared Leto's amazing in that film. Like
He's so
having
bad.
Paolo, like he's
It's
just so dumb.
me, Paolo. How could you?
Yeah. But you know, and then they immediately in Death on the Nile, after that sequence, they immediately cut to Kenneth Branagh, I think, at the pyramids, and it's so bad. Like the CG is just awful. Like,
I've heard it's really funny as well because like doesn't he shoot those films on like 70 mil or something? And it's like,
Oh my god, he
"These are
did.
shot on film. These are really like filmic films, and then you've just got these awful backdrops. Like, what's the point? What's the point hyping up your film as like an old classic? Like
It's like the opposite of
yeah.
Nolan, which is funny because he's in most of Nolan's
Exactly.
new films.
yeah.
So it's like
and he's good in them. He's very good as Niels Bohr in Oppenheimer. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well, he's
probably
barely in it, but-
Sergey and
Sir-
Andre. Sorry,
Sergey.
Andre. Crazy Russian who beats. his
How do
wife.
you want to die? How do you? And then he goes, "You fucking bitch." Internet.
I have I don't know if this is a hot take. I also kind of hate Belfast.
Oh, I fucking hate Belfast.
I've
Trash.
not watched it, but it looks fucking terrible.
Yeah,
It's so bad. It's Oscar bait bullshit for nans.
I know.
Okay,
I-
it's black and white. It's got Judi Dench as an old fucking Irish woman who's like, "Look at cinema. This is cinema for you."
It just seems like it really wants to be cinema paradiso, but
Oh,
No,
there's
that's the thing,
literally a
it's
shot which is
doing-
practically that.
I don't even
Oh,
like
Jesus.
Cinema Paradiso that much. It's fine, but it's
I
so
think
like
it's fine too. Yeah,
it's so
I'm not-
like
love it.
nostalgic and like
Fucking love it.
like I don't know, but yeah, in Belfast, like the other thing I really couldn't stand about it is what a like milquetoast, like middle of the road attitude it has about the whole Troubles thing, because like
Oh god,
it
yes.
doesn't it like it's fine to be like kind of show nuance like both sides of it, but this just does it in a way which is so like kind of saccharine, and I don't know. I think if you're going to show both sides of it, I think you have to show the anger and like the personal like vendettas people have on both sides. I don't know.
I find it funny, right? Because it's like they got this scene in a cinema. The rest is black and white, but the cinema's in color. Well done, Kenneth. Well done, Kenneth.
Also, what's the band that he has all the needle drops of?
Van
There's
Morrison.
like 9 of them on the soundtrack.
Van Morrison.
Van Morrison. Yeah. Thank you. Literally like 9 Van Morrison songs. It's like the entire soundtrack.
Jeez.
Such Oscar bait bullshit, eh? They literally the parents are literally their names are Ma and Pa. That's all they're called.
People are amazing.
Well, so we should start wrapping up here pretty soon. But
Yeah.
I was just looking at some of the last comments, and I did want to make sure that we get to this one because this is a very different kind of thing. Do you guys believe in extraterrestrial life? I'm going to start with Leon, who had a reaction.
Don't that's me. Go someone else. Go someone else.
Fine, I'll do it. I mean, so the probability that there are other that there's life outside of Earth is astronomically high. Like there's something there's a huge number of stars in the universe, and of those, there's enough that could have a planet in a habitable zone. That it's just, yeah. But in terms of intelligent life that could reach us, I mean, that's a lot less likely, but also it's so unlikely that they could ever reach us just because of how big the universe is, how spread across we are. So yeah, that's my answer. Very boring answer, actually. I should definitely have the Area 51.
You should have rated it.
What he said.
Okay.
that was a Hot Fuzz reference. But also, yeah, I don't think ET exists, but maybe, yeah, there's probably like life out there. I'm not knowledgeable.
If life exists and could meet us, it's probably more like, let me find it.
Spetters?
No, it's probably more like this movie, Color Out of Space.
Yes.
Have you seen that, Leon?
Yes, Color Out of Space is so fun.
I love it so much. But it's basically it's like a Lovecraft story of like where aliens are not, humanoid, creatures. They're like, it's basically this like fungus. It's like a mushroom trip experience that wants to like corrupt.
Kind of like Annihilation almost.
It's actually very similar to Annihilation. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Color Out of Space is super fun.
Oh, it's got a picture Annihilation, but like with a crazy Cage performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The alpaca scene. Oh, good shit.
It's like straight out of The Thing, pretty much, like the way that looks. Yeah.
Oh, it looks so good.
What about you, Josh? To end the stream, like, do you believe in extraterrestrial life?
I'm like kind of, but at the same time, I don't believe a single thing people say, because a lot of it people just see ET and are like, oh, that's aliens. I think extraterrestrial life will be like a bacteria or something, which, is different to bacteria we have on Earth. That's what I think. It'll be like a fungus, kind of, or it'll be something like that. I don't think extraterrestrial life is exactly humanoid, or even in the form of something that has lungs or anything. It would just be like a fungus or some shit like that.
But it could be humanoid or something like that, but it's just like we would never contact them. Like the universe.
Why would they want to come here?
Yeah, they'd just be bored as fuck.
They come to England and they'll want to leave, and second one, they'll get a train back to fucking Mars. I wouldn't want to come here.
I just love.
Like, what is here for?
Like extraterrestrial life landing in like London or some shit. Like, I just think that is a really funny concept.
They'll just say in their language, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." Skit exists, I'm out.
You have me thinking of the end of Life Force now, Leon. Like where the space vampires have invaded, and there's all this like destruction in London. So good.
I need to revisit Life Force. I remember having a pretty fun time with it.
It's so fun.
It's an interesting conversation to have, though, because a lot of people are like, what if aliens exist? I'm like, what if AI really exists and it's like Ex Machina form in the future, and we could be living around robotic people like Ava from Ex Machina, one of my favorite movies, by the way. Please watch it.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it. It's good.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another point. Like, I could talk about real world problems and shit all day, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for movies.
There you go.
And we're here to laugh at Joe Dante cleaning up the mess.
Please stop.
And David Carradine dying, because that's so funny, isn't it, Josh?
Well, it's just a fucking dumbass, isn't he? Like, I'm gonna wank myself off while choking myself. Like, well,
that sounds like a line that could be straight out of Hot Fuzz. Like, just a
no, but
Yeah.
what did he have to gain from that?
People do it. It's kind of just like a thing that like they find super erotic and it like turns them on. I don't get it.
I don't get it, but like it's people do what they want.
A thing.
It's sad. It's sad if he dies doing it. That's the thing.
I mean,
It's funny that it's funny that he decided to do that to end it, but it's not funny
No,
what he did.
It was accidental. He didn't like
Not the point. He
do it.
he could he could have saw it coming. Who knows? Literally,
Thing?
literally.
Fuck's sake.
Sorry. No wonder why I'm not allowed on streams anymore. Now I know why.
It's been fun. It's been really fun. So we will wrap it up here in a second. I just want to start off by saying thank you guys so much for coming on and just completely goofing off for 3 hours. I really enjoyed it.
Of course, yeah.
I will start with Josh. Do you have something you want to plug coming up on your channel?
So much. I'm in the midst of writing like 7 different things right now, and it's all overwhelming. Plus, I've got like stuff to do for work as well at home, so
Gotcha.
I might not have the time. But I'm halfway through my Asteroid City video.
Nice.
I think it's gonna be. It's funny because I write these videos and it's like 8 pages long, but when I record it, it's like 4 minutes. It's just. But yeah, it's probably gonna be another shorter one. Expect that hopefully Friday if I can get my arse in gear and not be a lazy bastard. But I've got top 20 A24 films in the future coming. And a bunch of other videos which I plan to do. So keep an eye out, peeps.
Awesome. Great to hear. And then what about yourself, Leon? You just uploaded a After Hours review today, right?
Yeah, I uploaded the After Hours review today. I've got a weekly series where I'm going to be going through Shaw Brothers films, which I'm really excited to do every Sunday, called Shaw Sunday. So I'm just going to pick out a random Shaw Brothers film every week. I want to check out The Boxer's Open.
Yeah, I was going to suggest The Boxer's Open for the next one.
I imagine that'd be fun. But yeah, I got that every Sunday. I'll probably do some more collection videos soon. Probably a Criterion one, because I know people have requested that, such as yourself, Jackson. So yeah, a Criterion one could be pretty fun to do. I got a pickups video. I picked up a few films recently, so they're like on the shelf up here. So I need to kind of do a video on that. I don't know what else. I'll probably do a live stream soon. Might get you guys on it or something. And also, Vinegar Syndrome order has dispatched. It might be here by the end of this week. Maybe soon.
Let's go.
Get to work on the podcast if we come up with a name. See how that goes or something. So yeah, how about yourself? What have you got planned?
So for the next 4 or 5 days, probably nothing, just because I have some friends coming into town from New Jersey, so I'm gonna hang out with them. But after that, there's not. I'll probably have the next thing I want to review is probably Talk to Me, which I think I'll see with them. So I'll get around to that. The other thing I was thinking of doing is maybe doing a relatively short live stream where I do like a kind of a short off the cuff review for a bunch of movies that have come out this year and I've seen them, but I haven't reviewed them because a bunch of those exist. It's just a nice way to catch up. And then the other live stream event that I was thinking about is maybe doing a. I told you guys about that video store in my town that closed, right? Yeah. So I was thinking of doing like an ode to them where I talk about everything I rented from them in the last year, and just talk about like how much I've sort of learned and like kind of increased my like movie knowledge because of them. And then maybe tag them or something on Instagram because I know that they're planning on coming back at some point.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, no, that'd be great. I'd love to see that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably about it for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on, and thanks to everybody who commented as well. I really had a great time chatting with you guys, Winslow, Jake, Del Boy, all you guys. So yeah, see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
Bye.
Later, guys.